players coming onto the pitches around the country. And that means I get to press the big button that says Open All Mics.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
Go! Go!
From BBC Radio Scotland.
There we go, I pressed the big button and that's what happened. Andy, what is it? You're pointing out something?
I mean, listen, he's my mate, so I feel as if I can talk about this, but I'm just watching Scott Arfield swagger towards that dugout there. He's got a very distinctive walk.
Swagger?
Like Scott Arfield.
I've seen it live. It is a swagger.
It's a swagger and a half.
He's well dressed though.
Yeah, he's having a good go. That'll be, I can guarantee you one thing, that'll be at least his 9th coffee today.
So is that an affected swagger? Does he walk like that all the time?
Oh no, he walks like that all the time. I don't think that's just because he's got a different jacket on today. That is the Scott Arfield walk. You can recognise it anywhere.
Is that something all you gaffers think about, how you're going to look walking to the technical area?
Tony Dock does, that's for sure.
Intimidating, is it, Tony?
You need to speak to my fashion designer about that one.
It's funny, but I always remember Sir Alex Ferguson used to say, when he got into the car in the morning, that was when he became Fergie. Different in the house, but had to kind of affect this different personality once he pulled on his Fergie outfit, as it were.
Well, Scott Arfield's got a job of trying to find that type of aura over the space of the last 3 days, but we just got a wee glimpse at it. It looks as if he's got a pretty similar outfit on to Jim Goodwin, so I don't know if that was pre-arranged, but they're looking well.
Will they change jackets at half time, Andy?
Depends if a tweet comes in.
So the thing is though, Scott Arfield is on record saying he doesn't really want the job.
Well, listen, I'm not surprised. The previous chats I've had with him is the reason he's left Falkirk to go to Livingston is because he feels he has a lot more on the legs to play football. Now, that was 4 months ago. I can't envisage that his mind's changed all that much.
He cited that in an interview the other day, Andy. He said, I feel I've still got a lot to give as a player as well, which kind of points towards that.
Well, the interesting thing is, if he manages to get a victory against Dundee United at Tannadice today, does he get that coach's bug that everyone talks about? And it might sway his mind elsewhere, but listen, I can't see it. I think he's someone who feels as if he's got a lot still to give, so I'm sure it's just a bit part from now to the end of the season, after what has been an absolute circus here 2 weeks at Livingston.
Won't be a player manager role, Ian. You did that, didn't you?
Sorry, did I do? Yes, I did. 1997 for 2 seasons, 26 appearances, 1 goal. I wasn't great. It was the best player every Friday in Young v Old, but I can vouch for that. There you go.
Here we go. So the games are afoot around the country. Let's
David,
talk.
there's been a change here to Aberdeen's lineup. Emmanuel Gyamfi went off and he's injured himself in a warm-up, so Mitchell Frame takes his place in that 3-5-2. And just a wee change. I thought St Mirren were going to be a back 4, but they're not. They're a back 3, a 4 across the midfield, and 2 10s, if you like, playing off the striker Mandron.
Oh, interesting. Is that an interesting formation, that, Andy?
So Matt,
3 at the back.
Mandron, the lone striker, did they say? Is it?
Yeah, they're going with Mandron and Phillips one side and Devaney the other side. There's 2 10s playing off him with a 4 midfield behind that, and a back 3 of Gogic, Liam Donnelly and Marcus Fraser.
So again, Tony, just to kind of reference the top of the show, not a lot of goals within the team at all. In terms of assists, I'd love to hear the numbers of who's got the most assists within that starting 11, because I can't envisage it will be many.
Well, I can tell you
that's
that
exactly what I'm saying. Looking at the team, you wonder if you're a St Mirren, they've not scored a goal in their last 4. You wonder what individual, where's the goal coming from? Is it a set play? Is it open play? But yeah, you do look at the team and you wonder who's got that prowess to get the goal.
Well, the top scorers for St Mirren are on 4 goals apiece. Mika Mandron and Miguel Freckleton, 4 goals.
Is that including the one he put in the opposite net last week?
No, that doesn't count.
No. What about assists? I'd take a right punt that it would be Declan John. Who's
Mandron, I was speaking to Mandron last week, and he said he had 21 goal contributions and assists this season, but that's also in the cup competitions where he scored a lot of goals in the cup competitions. But St Mirren they've got the fewest goals, Tony, in the division. In fact, they've scored 12 goals fewer than Livingston at the bottom of the table, and they're scoring, I think they've only scored in 18 matches this season in the league.
Yeah, and it can really it can be on your mind that psychologically when you get into games, you know, you're looking about and who's going to score the goal today, and it also puts real pressure on the defensive line, you know, because they know that they need to keep it at zero the other side. So, but I've got to say they started the game better here. They're on the front foot, definitely. They're playing a lot of balls into the back line, Aberdeen, and they're up in second balls. So for the amount of midfield players they've got, they're dominating second balls at the moment. But yeah, it still goes back to that, who's going to score the goal.
I'm just looking at it just now, Tony, and you'll know as well as I do, when you look at when John Stephen Robinson's tenure, I think a lot of the creativity came from the wing backs, whether it was Jayden Richardson on one side and it was Declan John. Previous to that it was Ryan Strain on the right side, Scott Tanser on the left. I look at the wing backs today and Marcus Fraser, who's really more defensive minded, than Mark O'Hara on the other side, I believe. Is he the left wing? It's actually Richard King one side and Freckleton the other side, which probably even more so. Particularly, I'm looking at Richard King this side here, and it does. I've seen him before playing that position as wing back, and he just doesn't look. For me, he's a right-sided centre half.
Did he not play that position against Motherwell in that 5-0 game?
He did,
David.
There
you go.
He did.
How did that go?
Well, he got sent off.
Yeah, Marcus
unjustly.
Fraser's playing lefty of 3 at the moment, but so they're the two wing backs, and you know, I agree with your point here, Andy. I think even more so, I don't see. Well, I might be wrong. You said Freckleton scored 4 goals, did you, David?
Yep.
Well, maybe he'll pop in at the back post on the left-hand side.
I mean, I suppose one of the most interesting things in the St Mirren team sheet tonight is the return of Alex Gogic, who has probably been the player of the season for the Buddies, and I think they miss his leadership qualities, Ian.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's an outstanding player, and you know, he seems to have an outstanding. I don't know the boy, but it seems like an outstanding attitude to the game as well. Whether he's playing, and I mean, when Stephen and it might even have been Craig Lees had to play him in midfield. I mean, he did a job, he did well, but I think they really missed him a back three. Just to let you know, David, that Neil Lennon has sprung a shock. There's a change to the system. I've covered him 3 or 4 times. They're always 3-4-1-2. He's went with a flat back 4. It's almost just a bog standard 4-4-2. They're lining up the back 4 of Kearney at right back, Chaloka Mullen, Ngwenya and Fraser left back. Still 0-0 here.
Yeah, big crowd there, Ian.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's about 2,000 Thistle fans, and the Norrie stand, the Norrie McCarthy stand is pretty full, and so is the other side, and the main stand's full. Yeah, there'll certainly be 6,000-7,000, I'd have thought.
You won't thank me for this, David, but it's two fantastic clubs that could potentially be going into the top flight next season. I know St Mirren will have a big say in that, but yeah, you look at the crowds that Dunfermline have managed to garner over the last couple of seasons. Thistle as well, obviously got a fantastic fan base. So
all 3 of them deserve to win the top flight.
Yeah, if one of them were to make it, there'll be a welcome addition, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm just looking there, Oxborough. If this tie, Ian, does go to penalties, you've got the big man in goals there. I'm not saying that would be a tactic of Dunfermline, but it's always nice to have in the back pocket.
Well, yeah, I mean, listen, what a save it was. I mean, it was a ridiculous, daft goalie error that caused the penalty, right enough, but it was just a magnificent save, because it wasn't as if it was a bad penalty, and anybody that's I've managed Aaron Muirhead a couple of times, and his record of penalties is absolutely magnificent. I don't know how many he's taken in his career. I think he's only missed 2 or 3. So yeah, great save.
I've watched Thistle only maybe a handful of times this season. Really like the young lad McPherson that's on loan at right back. Ben player. Stanway's deservedly got in Team Maria, but I always really enjoy watching our wingers. I love Fitzpatrick on the other one side. I love Chalmers on the other. 2 almost old-fashioned like wingers, if you like, where hug that touchline, they've got chalk in their boots, but every time they receive the ball they want to be positive, they want to get at their full back.
That's what they're doing tonight, Andy. I've not seen them line up like this since the first half of the season when the pitches were really good, but as we speak, Chalmers is in front of me with chalk in his boots, and Aidan Fitzpatrick's on the other side.
That looked like a chance at Pittodrie there, Tony Doc.
It was, yeah. Mandron does great. He steals possession, wins it in the final third, and good support and player. I'm saying Phillips is playing in that number 10 role, and he gets up to support him. I think he should do better. It's a good layoff onto Phillips' right foot, and he misses the target from, I don't know, 14-15 yards. I think he should do better, and that's the first opportunity of the game going to St Mirren.
Tony, we're just seeing the picture just now. It's incredible, because I mean, there's 40 yards of space between Mandron and the next St Mirren player, so you're right, he does ever so well to hold it up and allow Killian Phillips to join in, and then once it's a perfectly weighted set, you're expecting him to at least hit the target for that scenario.
Yeah, maybe that's why St Mirren are the league's lowest scorers though, Andy. Confidence maybe.
Well, I've watched the last two 90 minutes against Kilmarnock and Livingston, and out with set pieces that's as good a chance as they've had from open play over the last 3 games. So if the last 3 games are in to go by, they'll not get many more like that. So when they do come, you've got to be at least making the goalkeeper work, that's for sure.
Ian, St Mirren have got a couple of players on loan at Partick Thistle.
Yes.
I missed the starting lineup, but any of them featuring tonight?
Taylor's not involved. Yeah, Ocean Smith is. He's been terrific for Thistle. And I was just going to come to you and say that Ocean Smith is playing as a deep liar in a midfield 3, and one of the Dunfermline strikers isn't dropping off to pick him up. So if they get him on the ball, he's already played a couple of passes. He's been terrific. I'm wondering if he's maybe a little bit one-paced with the Premier League. I don't know, but he certainly can move the ball, and Dunfermline are giving him the freedom of East End Park just now. Thistle look the more dangerous team. Yeah,
obviously he and Fraser Taylor would be ineligible should Thistle prevail and play St Mirren in the final. Young Fraser Taylor, Stephen Robinson used to always call me, even though he's about 23. Not sure when you stop being a young player.
Yeah, I've only seen him a couple of times this season. He's obviously been used sparingly before he got the loan move to Partick Thistle, but I'd seen more of him when he was at Arbroath, where I thought he'd done ever so well. Seemed at that point in time he had a really promising future ahead of him, so I think it was important that he then got this loan move and tried to get as much games as he possibly can. But like I says, I think Partick Thistle have utilised the loan market really well this year.
Is he maybe a player that would have fitted in, John Rankin, to a Craig McLeish team, maybe more than a Stephen Robinson team? Fraser Taylor, definitely. In terms of he doesn't have that kind of profile that Stephen Robinson tends to go for, although he did give him he started him in a few games at the beginning of the season.
Yeah, no, Fraser Taylor's got great ability. He's obviously not the biggest. He's probably about 5'7", but he likes taking the ball. He likes driving forward with it, making passes, getting it, borrowing the ball and getting it back. Stephen Robinson's teams are obviously more direct, so it would be more suited to Craig McLeish. But that's probably what the difference just now with the Stephen Robinson team. And Craig McLeish is probably in between being partly Stephen Robinson team in a direct style and try to implement his own style as well. So the guys will tell you as a manager, there's nothing worse than being in between. You want to be one or the other. You can't be in between, and that's probably where St Mirren are just now.
Yeah, Craig McLeish, he took over on an interim basis. He's going to be in charge till the end of the season, but the cards that have been dealt to him, Ian, could hardly have been more unkind when you look at the injuries.
Yeah, I mean, I think St Mirren, you'll know David better than me, but I think St Mirren have been plagued with injuries most of the season, even when Stephen was there previously. But yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I guess to this stage of the season, though, and I think you need to be equipped with certain abilities to cope with it, particularly when you're in a relegation struggle. And I don't think you learn that through an academy system. I just think they needed a little bit of experience. And as I said, I mean, it's like Craig McLeish was offered the job. Is he going to say no? Of course he's not. It's like David Moyes when he went to Manchester United. He knows it's the wrong time to go, but is he going to say no? No, well, of course you're not going to say no. So he has been dealt a tough hand of cards, but I think it's a bit more than that.
Is that what it is?
Just on Fraser Taylor as well, I watched a few of the games. He did get an opportunity, and normally in and around a young player coming in, you have a Phillips, an O'Hara, a Bacchus, all these players, as Ian was saying. It was that point in time where they had all these injuries and he was having to do a lot of the heavy lifting himself. Chance.
Dunfermline nearly took the lead there. It was Chris Kane just swivelled on the edge of the box, the left hand side of the box, tried to curl one in the far corner, took a wicked deflection, actually turned into a great save by Clark. So Dunfermline cost still 0-0.
Is that the only chance of the game so far there, Ian?
Yeah, well, listen, it wasn't even a chance, it was just a good effort at goal. It nearly got right into the corner. It turned into a really, really good save.
You could see his anticipation there, and I don't know if you saw that, but Chris Kane, you could see him just waiting for the ball to drop. That's a striker's intuition, isn't it?
Yeah, he did, and that's experience. I thought the goal, the only goal across the two legs that Chris Kane managed to get, I thought it was outstanding. Striker play, that little York and Cole, the little overs, the 1-2. His experience for me is going to be pivotal to this Dunfermline side. They are such a young, talented, athletic players, but he's been there and done it. He's been in this scenario many times before, so he's going to be invaluable.
Right, we've almost got about a quarter of an hour played at the games this evening. 3 in the Premiership and 1 in the Premiership playoff semi-final. Let's find out, guys, what's happening. Is that the closest we've come to a goal then, that chance at Dunfermline? You've had one at Pittodrie as well, Tony.
Yeah, it's quite an open game here. Just Olasanya doing what he does, that Aberdeen have got that style at the moment. They're utilising him with that ball in behind, and they've a couple of opportunities we've got in behind, but it's never came to anything. So really there's been one chance in this game, and it's interesting to see the way both teams are lining up. I think St Mirren are actually getting a bit of joy with the system that they're playing with the two O'Hara and Phillips support Mandron, and yeah, they're the ones that have carved out the best opportunity.
Scott Arfield's attire still the big talking point at Tannadice, John?
Yes, there's not a lot happening here at all. The only thing that did happen, Cleo Harding took one right off his face from 8 yards out, but he was only within 2 yards of the ball, so there was a kind of silence in the crowd until he got himself back up, but there's been nothing happening here at all. It's a typical end of the season feel for both teams just now.
Oh, Rory.
We had a shot from Tom Lowry a few minutes ago. It was easily held by O'Hara. Dundee have lined up with three at the back. Stephen Presley did the old warm-up before, so I changed the team about when I had a three at the start, but they've got a four. Scott Wright's picking up some good spaces just in behind Ashley Hay, but he's let himself down with his pass a couple of times. It's been a pretty even game so far, David, but not a lot to talk about. Finlay Curtis did carve an opportunity for Kilmarnock down the left-hand side. Some lovely feet. He clipped one into the central area, but it was dealt with by Cometio at the time. So Finlay Curtis playing on the left, a man of many positions tonight, and he's shown up well so far, but still 0-0.
What a signing he has been. Andy was talking about it, Ian. Finlay Curtis, is he perhaps the best January transfer signing in the top division, do you think?
Well, yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, if he keeps it, I mean, I think he may go to the World Cup because, we've not got a lot of wide players. And I mean, I must admit, I thought he was a good young player, but I never thought he would do what he did at Kilmarnock. But his two finishes, I know Andy was talking about them before, but his two finishes were absolutely magnificent. They were effortless. And I think Derek McInnes described Lawrence Shanklin's goal against Rangers as just class. Well, those two finishes, that's exactly what I thought. They're just class. So yeah, I mean, he's been a terrific signing for them. I don't think that's helped Danny Roll, how well he's done right enough from Rangers letting him go on loan, and it might be really good for the boys' development, but maybe he could have been doing that for Rangers.
See, just on that as well, a lot of people, that discussion's come up at the particular time when Finlay Curtis came to Kilmarnock. I think a lot of people, having signed Scott Olsen, etc., felt that Rangers were doing the right thing to get him out because he wouldn't play so much. But hindsight's a wonderful thing. But I look at some of the goals Rangers have conceded recently. The goal at Tynecastle, the first one, where Kingsley scores, Tavernier points to Scott Olsen and says, "That's your man." He comes in, he looks again, and he can see Kingsley. He makes no effort whatsoever to go and stand next to him to mark him. And then the goal that Yang scores at the weekend, Ant-Man drops his runner. And whilst he's a young player, whilst he might not be completely polished in terms of his positioning and things just yet, he would put the hard yards in. That would not have happened, in my opinion, had Finlay Curtis been on the pitch, because he would have ran back and he would have attempted to try and stop it. So not just offensively, I think he would have helped Rangers out defensively as well.
I think the bizarre thing, sorry John, the bizarre thing is Scove Olsen and Ant-Man, I mean, their profiles, they can't possibly be as poor as they've looked. They really can't.
Yeah, I mean, I was just going to say there, Ian, the two things for me. The first one is Finlay Curtis was asked to play right back in a game against Dundee United a couple of weeks ago, and for somebody that normally plays wide left to go and play right back and put that responsibility on him, that's massive.
I think that underlines Rory's point as well, I've got to say. Yeah.
And the next one I was going to ask is, do you think, obviously with Dodsey and Neil McCann having been at Rangers for the tail end of last season, having worked with Finlay Curtis, him going there and getting the game time becomes almost part of him having the confidence in the two coaches, as he's worked with them before and they know exactly what he's about?
Well, I definitely think that's it. I don't know what the guys think, though. I definitely think it's helped. He's worked with Neil and Billy before. I don't think there's any, particularly as a young player. I definitely think that's helped him. And listen, I don't think anybody can say he hasn't completely flourished there.
I do agree with that, and I think it's brilliant. But the fact that he wouldn't get a game at Rangers, he'd be sitting on the bench at the moment. That was obvious, and to get him out and get him the game time, and as you say, they're working with two people that get that belief in him. As a player, if you know your manager's, he's got your back, he'll let you make a few mistakes.
I'm not so sure he would be on the bench, Tony. Obviously, the last couple of games, the way it's going, he doesn't fancy Gassam on the right, obviously. He's put Ant-Man into an old firm who hadn't started a game since goodness knows when. Scov Olsen he threw in as well at Tynecastle. I genuinely think the last couple of games now, as I said, we can't really criticise Danny Rule, because when he went out on loan, I think everyone agreed it was probably the right thing. But the way it's transpired, I just could not believe watching, and James Tavernier got the brunt of it at Tynecastle because people were saying he didn't have the heart. See, he pointed it out to Skov Olsen, and Skov Olsen did nothing about it. See, by the time it ricochets off the post, it's pot luck where the ball goes.
I definitely think Finlay Curtis would have got a chance, but you know, it's a big. I think it's hugely different taking that chance at Rangers than taking it at Kilmarnock.
I think you're right, and it's huge credit, I think, to Finlay Curtis. You know, that's where all the credit should go. Of course, Neil and Dodgy have brought him in, but it's down to him. I remember a similar situation myself with Luke Graham when he wasn't guaranteed game time, and myself at Dundee. He went to Falkirk and he was outstanding, came back a better player, and
it did him the world of good, that.
Well, and his profile, and he's looking like he's going to get a move to a bigger club, and I just think when young players are presented with that opportunity, it's how they take that on board. You know, that can be, you can be in the doldrums and think you're out of the pit, or if you can really grasp it and think, I'm going to make the most of this opportunity. And for me, that's what Finlay Curtis has done.
What do we think then, chaps, about his prospects of heading to North America in the summer? Came on against Japan.
Well, there was maybe a slightly surprise inclusion in the last squad, given at that point in time he hadn't scored the 4 goals that he scored in the last handful of games, but he's certainly done enough to prove it was the right decision. I thought at that time that Calvin Miller could feel slightly unjust that he never got the nod over Finlay Curtis for that last squad, but I think Colin mentioned that a little bit earlier. I would love to see us take an extra couple of wingers going into the squad, given that we only really have Ben Gannon Doak in that situation. Is that bit of pace, bit of directness, something different on the flanks for us. So for me, I would love to see Calvin Miller and Finlay Curtis go. Now, where do you sacrifice? For me, I don't think you have to take 6 centre halves. I don't think you have to take 3 right backs. And to be honest with the way Steve Clarke operates, I don't think you particularly need 4 strikers either. So for me, take your pick out of that bunch.
By the way, it's a squad of 18.
For a winger. We'll end up that way.
26, isn't it?
Yeah, David, I think he'll go. I think he'll go to the World Cup, and the reason being he'll go to the World Cup is because we want to get to more World Cups going forward as a nation. And how are we going to do that? We need to give young players an experience of being there. Finlay Curtis is only 20-year-old. Steve Clarke is trying to bleed him in. He obviously came on against Japan. He's in the form right now that he would want to be going into a World Cup. But whether he uses him or not, he can have that buzz round about it, where that youthful enthusiasm in training and days when obviously the boys have played, and he keeps everything ticking over and going. I think Steve Clarke's been very, very clever. And go! Nearly a goal there. Stephen May hits the post. Back again, Kit. Blocked.
Chance for Livingston then off the post, Andy.
Yeah, I think it was at Stevie May.
It's a goal, and it is that man, Finlay Curtis. This is an outstanding goal. Robbie Dees from centre back looks up, he absolutely whips it into Hugo, who lays it off. It's then laid off to Curtis, who takes a touch and slots it beyond the goalkeeper O'Hara. A wonderful team goal. Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 0.
That's it, it's definitely going to North America now, eh?
Yeah, and I mean, it's almost a carbon copy of the previous 3. He's cutting in for that left-hand side. It's a lovely weighted pass by Hugo. And again, he just works on it that right foot. And I think it's a slightly different finish. I'll need to see it again. I don't know if he almost does the old-fashioned toe bash. Yeah, the old-fashioned Toby under the goalkeeper. But it's a lovely work move for Kilmarnock. And I hate to tell you, David, you know what this means if it stays this way.
Well, that's right. I'd forgotten about that. So excited was I at the prospect of Finlay Curtis going to the World Cup with Scotland. There we see the finish there. Nice finish. Very calm, Andy.
Yeah, and listen, that's one thing he's had in his locker for a long period of time, ever since he was even an under-18s player at Rangers. I think in one season it was reported he'd scored 52 goals. I thought, through what I'm hearing, that what really stood out to Russell Martin when he got the job was his natural goal instinct and his athleticism. I think we've seen that in abundance in Kilmarnock. And like he says, what a signing he's been. Ultimately, it looks as if that
it's a VAR check. Possible offside. It must have been. The only thing I can think is when Dees has played the ball into Hugo, he's maybe started a yard behind the defender.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be that, because it's certainly not through the weighted pass that Finlay Curtis gets on the end of.
And that is a shame, because that was a really, really good goal.
He's been a poor signing, Finlay Curtis.
There we go. Now, is there any prospect, you think, gentlemen, of Finlay Curtis being at Kilmarnock next season?
Absolutely not. Well, I don't think so. I don't know what the guys think.
Never say never with the way Rangers operate. listen, you want the reason these young boys go out and these loans is to showcase themselves, develop, to be given an opportunity in the first team next year. Rangers have not done that for such a long period of time that I wouldn't rule anything out.
Well, the Rangers also need a poster boy to encourage parents of hotshot academy kids that then you do actually get a chance, and he fits the bill, I think.
Yeah, well, I think they had quite a job on their hand to keep a couple of Dunfermline.
Goal at East End Park, and it's for Dunfermline. And the ball was fired across. It was down in the left-hand side, and I'm pretty sure it's Callum Morrison coming in off the opposite flank has just drilled it past Clark in the goal. I've got to say, Dunfermline, I think if any team deserves to be winning, it's Dunfermline. So Dunfermline 1, Partick Thistle 0.
Andy?
Yeah, I'm sitting slightly ever so smug here. I could potentially get my first prediction of the season correct. Again, it's a brilliantly worked move again. I think it's a switch of play down that left-hand side. And I love the little shift onto the left-hand side and then just cut it across that 6-yard box. And Callum Morrison, he makes up a lot of ground to get in.
Is he onside?
I think so. He certainly looked offside to me. Thankfully, we don't have VAR to check it anyway. But Callum Morrison, he's got a lot of ground to wake up. He busts into the box. And it's a little guided finish with the left foot.
Who hit the cross in, Andy? Sorry.
I think it's Matty Todd. I'll need to see it again, but it looked as if it was Matty Todd. But I love the switch of play to release him down that left-hand side.
It's a wee bit of a bobbly cross, wasn't it? Could Thistle have cleared that, maybe?
I don't think so, because I don't think there's a Thistle player near enough to make contact with Callum Morrison guiding into to the back post there. But Collie mentioned that, you know, every time we've sort of panned to the screen, it looks as if it's been Dunfermline that's been on the ascendancy as Partick come through.
Goal! At Firhill. It's not Firhill, but it's for Partick Thistle. The equaliser about 30 seconds. We're still talking about the last goal. It looks like Ben Stanley, and he's just got the break of the ball. He's held his man off, and I do not know how he got by. It was Ben Stanley. I don't know how he got by Oxborough in the goal, but he just seemed to scoop it, and it went to the right of Oxborough, and it goes in the corner in it. So it certainly was Ben Stanley, because he's celebrating right now. So right now it's Dunfermline 1, Partick Thistle 1.
That's incredible scenes.
Well, that's what I get for gloating about my prediction.
That was that smug comment you made there.
Absolutely, I deserve it. But I tell you what, I'll need to see us get. Neil Lennon will be absolutely raging at the nature of this goal that they've conceded. I think it comes with a throw-in, and then I think it's Robbie Fraser initially who has a chance to clear it. Then I think it might be Chalopa Mullen that doesn't get the clearance right either. It's a fresher swipe at the edge of the box. And Ben Stanley, he's at a narrow angle, and he does ever so well to get it past that knocks back. I think he almost kind of hits it into the ground that makes it bobble over the big goalkeeper. But he's been the standout player for Thistle this year. Won all the awards at the Player of the Year night. He's came up with the goods to equalise at East End Park.
Yeah, he's been a big player for Thistle, Ian, this year.
Yeah, he's got a chance. He's got a great attitude to play as well. He always is, even as a kid. I mean, we gave him his debut down at St Rary. I think he came on for about 33 seconds, but he was just incredibly excited to go on down there. And I think he had a hard time of it for a season, maybe last season or the season before. He wanted more games, went here doing loan. He didn't play as much as he wanted, but coming through the youth team, it was he always looked like the one that was going to do it. Listen, I didn't expect him to have such a great season this season, but you know, I think for Ben Stanley to stay at Thistle, I think they'll need to go up. So
just 2 goals in tonight's 4 matches with relevance to the Premiership, and they both come at East End Park. Dunfermline 1, Partick Thistle 1. We've had a goal disallowed at Kilmarnock. Finlay Curtis, there was an offside in the build-up there. Elsewhere, still 0-0. Have we come close to a goal yet at Tannadice, John?
Yeah, Dundee United came close. It was good play down the side from Ryan Strain, cuts one across, and it fell to Johnny Russell just for him to tap in, and it came off his heel and went back to the direction it came from. You could see he was muttering to the sky, so he's obviously disappointed with it. And at the other side, Livy had a chance 5 minutes later. Stephen May cuts inside and drills one across the goal, comes off the inside of the post, flies back across the goal line, but there's nobody there to tap it in. So there's been 2 chances, but not really much for either goalkeeper to do at all. And just that one chance at Pittodrie, really, Tony?
Yeah, but there was it's a really, really interesting tussle at the moment going on between Olasanya, ex-teammates Olasanya and Gogic. You know, because Aberdeen are playing that real style that Stephen Robinson adopts, that direct style, trying to play Olasanya in behind, and the amount of times the two of them are running for the ball, and Gogic is just He's bleached him a couple of times, but it looks like a real interesting battle, because I know they're good mates, and I know they've played together, but it's really interesting what's going on. But Olasanya earlier on get the better of him and put a brilliant cross across the box. I don't know why there wasn't more support from Aberdeen coming through, but really that's been the two highlights of the quite a dull game, I've got to say. I'm just looking for it to kind of light a wee bit and some more action, some more goalmouth action to come into it.
Do you think Stephen Robinson, Tony, will go back to Paisley for potentially some summer signings, whether it's Gogic, players he trusts, especially if they do end up getting relegated? But either way, do you think he'll dip his toe in the
Possibly.
the water?
I think when you work with players, and everything I hear, I think it was Coley was saying earlier on, he's a brilliant boy, Gogic. He's a real leader in the dressing room. He's that type that I think Aberdeen probably need, you know, so he might resort to that, because you know what it's like when you work with somebody like that and you know what you're going to get. You maybe do that, you maybe surprise people doing it, but then he wins them over, and I think Gogic is that type of player.
I think he's still under contract for next season though.
How much do you think it would take
if they stay in the Premiership?
To part ways?
Oh, a couple of million.
Finlay Curtis had another chance there. It actually fell to him in a very similar position again. The old Thierry Henry finish with the inside of the boot, trying to wrap it into the far corner, but he didn't quite catch it. He caught his ankle and went straight out O'Hara. But Kilmarnock, the most dangerous side by a country mile now.
We just got probably the best glimpse so far of the replay. It is Hugo that's offside, and it's an inch, if that.
Yeah.
There's no way, I don't think the linesman would have spotted
the ball in from Robbie Dees. That is how you split a defence, Andy. That was an unbelievable. I don't know if the camera pans back far enough, but he absolutely whips it into Hugo and takes everybody out of the game.
Plenty of pace on it. Hugo does well to set it off as well, and then like I say, it's a lovely little guided through ball. I think it's Lowry that plays it into Curtis as he's dancing on the left hand side again.
Yeah, brilliant feet. Does Halliday.
Interesting, we're talking about Stephen Robinson maybe going back to the well as St Mirren for players. He's already kind of done that with Olasanya, who I think you'd have to put him under the category of an enigma.
Well, I seen his finish against Livingston 2 Fridays ago.
That was offside though.
For 8 yards, and he managed to put it out for a throw-in.
I see.
And then
we were there, Tony.
That was his first goal, obviously since he signed for the club last week. I'm convinced he's offside. I'm convinced he thinks he's offside, because there's no way you'd try and hit that hard if you thought you were onside. I mean, a replay. A rebound that's bounced off the goalkeeper, and he's absolutely lashed it for 8 yards out.
Got to make sure.
Fair play. Listen, he probably needed a goal. I think he's contributed over the last few games or so.
Definitely. I think he's really pivotal to the way Aberdeen are playing at the moment. If you remember when he played here with St Mirren, remember the game against Rubezic? With Rubezic, he just ran him to death down the channels, and that's what he's doing at the moment. And you're the one that's really benefiting from that is Kevin Nisbet.
Yeah.
And I think Nisbet's a really, really good striker, but I think he's one that's dependent on somebody with a kind of work ethic and work rate about him, and that's exactly what Olasanya is. You know, limited time working with him, he could polish up his finishing, there's no doubt, but he's so important for the team if you're going to play that style of football.
Well, Stephen Robinson said many times when he was at St Mirren that if Toyosi Olasanya had a better finish on him, he would be playing at a much higher level. That is the one thing that lets him down, because he's got pace, he's got power, he strikes. You can see it in the eyes of defenders. You know, he strikes fear into them. Yeah. It's just that in that final third, as they say.
Yeah, listen, he's got bags of pace, bags of willingness. He's always looking to play on the shoulder. He's always looking to threaten defences, but there is that element of rawness about the technical side of the game. He's one of those strikers that you almost feel like the less time he has to think about his finish, the higher probability he's going to score, if that makes sense. I know it was offside, but that chance at Livingston where he's diving in on goals, 2-3 touches before he has to try and pick his spot, he's probably more suited to reactionary one-touch finishes.
I think it'd be Killian Phillips is the one that he'll go for, and I think there's got to be I'm pretty sure he'll know that, without being disrespectful to St Mirren, sorry David, but if you want to turn Aberdeen around to what they were under Derek and Tony, well, you'll need a higher quality of player.
He was there before, remember?
Killian Phillips was there.
Yeah, he didn't do well here, Coley. Barry took him, and then Neil Warnock took him on. I tried to get him twice at Dundee. I'm a huge fan because of his physique and his running. I just think he's maybe lost his mojo a little bit.
There we go.
Yes, John.
Offside. It's a corner for Livingston. Stevie May clears it to the back post. It's Finlayson headers it back across, and it's Montana who was the scorer here the last time Livingston won, heads it in, but the linesman's got his flag up offside. disallowed goal.
Andy, you're not sure?
Well, I've not seen a replay yet. My initial reaction was it's definitely extremely tight. It looked as if Montano potentially timed his run pretty well. We'll get a look at it now. I mean, this is extremely tight. What I will say is, if he's offside, I think that's Cleo Hardin at the back post. It does well to push his line, to squeeze the line, because he is putting him onside.
Is his shoulder it's offside?
I think it looked that. Well, listen, it's going to, if he's onside, it's the elbow down that's offside.
And he's in acres of space when the ball gets headed back across. In the 6-yard box, acres of space, there's no one anywhere near him. It's clear in that in the video.
I don't know if this is deliberate from Cleo Hardin, but Cleo Hardin, before it gets hit, as the ball's going to the back post, he's comfortably playing him onside, and then he steps up. Again, I don't know if it's deliberate and he's trying to keep him offside, or he's almost got a little bit lucky because he's not ended up defending the man. So we'll get a look at it, but we've had one replay so far, and it looks as if it's extremely tight.
Still waiting to hear what VAR's verdict is on that one. While we're waiting, we can talk about the Livingston situation a wee bit more generally with Tony. You and I, we were at Livingston Aberdeen that game. I thought Livingston played well in that. I'd also seen them beat St Mirren 2-0. Clear signs of improvement under Marvin Bartley, and then he's resigned.
That game was very much a game of two halves, if you remember, David. I thought Aberdeen were really dominant first half. Should have been 3-0 up. And fair play to Marv, he made 3 changes at half time, and it became a 4-3-3, and they should have went on to win the game. It was a really, really entertaining second half, and I think they changed again. I think they went to back 4, is that right, on Saturday against Dundee. But I've got to say, on that night, I think the second half performance, I didn't think the first half performance was good, but I thought the second half performance was very strong.
Yeah, this is the emergency of what the interim manager. Remember, there used to be caretaker manager. Now it's this term, interim.
Well, it's the best way to get a job now. You just great ball into the box there again from Matty Todd, just too near to the goalie. Yeah, I mean it seems to be the way now. Yeah, sorry to go on about Killian Phillips. I just think he developed under Stephen Robinson to a different level of player than he was previously in it. I think he fits the profile, but there could be more improvement in him for Stephen Robinson.
I watched him loads, Collie, when he was Crystal Palace. He was at Wickham, and my mate Matty Bloomfield, and he'd worked with him, and he told me about him, and I just thought of the runs he made from midfield and in the box, and it was exactly what a Stephen Robinson team needs, that penetrating run from midfield. And I agree with you, it's in a certain team, and I love him, I do. I think he's got another couple of gears. I'm looking at him now, and just body language, and I agree with you. I think he needs another challenge, and I think if he gets that opportunity, because I've seen him being a real top player.
In terms of the interim manager, David, I know Marvin Bartley resigned, but I mean, I'm old-fashioned. You're saying there's huge improvement. Well, I think you've got to win some games though, to give yourself a better chance to get the job. I mean, listen, that's not, you don't get judged over 6 games like John did, but certainly the amount of games that Marvin had, the only thing I'll say is if he was told that he was getting the job and then he was told to reapply, then he did the right thing.
The Livingston goal chalked off. Doesn't count, Andy Halliday. It was a long VAR check, but looked very narrow from the lines we saw drawn across the screen.
Which is why it was a long check. I mean, it's ever so marginal. It's one of the ones that we've seen a couple of times this season that from a still image it looks as if he's probably just onside. But that's what you pay for the technology for. It's drawn the lines and it's worked the other way. Marsley offside.
Robbie Dees has just absolutely wiped Scott right out on the halfway line. Dundee broke from a Kilmarnock set piece, and I mean he's wiped him out. He's hobbling as well, Robbie Dees. I think he's got a grass burn right down his knee. It looked a sore one for Wright. There was a recovering defender, otherwise we've seen a few of those recently where it ends up in red. There was a recovering defender, but he's booked. Hopefully Scott Wright gets back up, which he is doing now, but that looked a real sore one.
So how are the fringe players, 8 of them, how are they performing, Rory?
They're doing okay. Kilmarnock are the better side. They look dangerous when they win the ball back. They try and get up to Hugo as quickly as they can. Especially Dees and Thompson have whipped a few balls into him, like we've seen for the goal that was chalked off. It's happened a couple of times. Then you've got Curtis running off him. You've got Lowry supporting. Lowry's been excellent. So Dundee, they've been okay without pulling up any trees. There's not been really any standout performers so far. They're still in the game and they've looked dangerous a couple of times, but they've kind of failed to create or carve any chances out. So SPFL Media Watch did tweet me to say there was about £100,000 per place at that end of the table, so not to be sniffed at, David.
SPFL Media Watch, so we're being followed closely tonight. Andy, just watch what you're saying.
Oh well, that's why I brought it up earlier. You know, the reason you do want to finish as high as you possibly can, that top six, is obviously the financial benefit that comes with it. So
points mean prizes.
Yeah, we've just seen the replay there, that Robbie Dees challenge. I mean, you will not get a more stonewall yellow card all weekend long. To be fair to them, well, did brandish the yellow card ever so quickly.
A few controversial ones at the weekend, right enough, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
So no real VAR controversy this evening. However, so far, possibly both correct decisions.
In terms of the yellow card?
Offside.
In the offside, yeah, absolutely. Well, as I said, that's what you pay the technology for when they draw the lines. It gives you an accurate reading. It's one of them. Both of them are extremely tight on the eye, but they went the
matters of fact rather than matters of opinion, these ones.
The wrong way for Kilmarnock Livingston, though.
Yeah, now at Pittodrie, Craig McLeish, after Saturday's defeat by Kilmarnock, he cited the lack of fight. Tony, the pictures I'm seeing, there doesn't seem to be any evidence of a repeat of that tonight.
No, there's a definite lack of fight, but I think the game, there's not been a shot on target. There's a real lack of quality, and I'm surprised, you know, because Aberdeen have got good midfielders in there, and Geiger. Oh, they've just given the ball away, and Mandron's through. No, the shot on target. No, we've not that shot on target yet. But yeah, there's not a lot of football getting played by either team, which is, you know, understandable the way St Mirren are playing and playing off Mandron. But I think Aberdeen should be looking to play a little bit more through the thirds and getting Geiger on the ball, and looking at Geiger's body language again. He's not enjoying the game because it's very much kind of just going forward and going direct. But no, there's definitely a fight, there's a spirit about St Mirren. They've got a free kick now. They're going to, all the big guys are going up and into the box, and this might be their best opportunity to score a goal.
Yeah, I think a lot of their goals have come from set pieces. Not been many goals this season. Oh, there's a meaty challenge there at
it must be
Park.
A yellow card. I mean, he's been all over Andrew Lee Ashcroft, the Parry-Thistle captain, and there's been claims for fouls before, and he's been a bit lenient, and I don't think he's going to book him, because when it's right in front of me, Andrew Todd got to the ball before him, flicked around the corner, and
it's a goal. It's a goal.
Goal at Pittodrie.
And I think it's King. As we said,
Richard King.
A goal coming from a set play. It's a brilliantly worked set play, I've got to say. It's a free kick about 40 yards out in a wide area, and everybody's lined up for the ball coming in the box. Young Devaney makes a brilliant run down the side and gets found by, I think, Zahara Taker, and he's put a fantastic ball across, and I'm sure it's King. Either King, I think it's King at the back post. He's turned it in. Brilliant goal for St Mirren.
Did you catch it, Andy?
I did. And am I not right in saying, Tony, you mentioned earlier on, we'll see if Richard King can pop up at the back post
aye, there you go,
and get the goal. So
who's feeling smug now?
You've been proven right. Well done. But like you said, that was definitely off.
I thought that was Freckleton. He said would pop up at the back post.
You killed me there, Dave. I thought I was going to get away with that.
That's snuffed away. But yeah, definitely off the training ground, that one.
Good goal.
There's a little block to allow Jacob Devaney to run down that right hand side, and do you know what, it's a fantastic delivery. It's a brilliant delivery. He just whips it in that corridor uncertainty, and I mean, it looks there's 4 Aberdeen players at the edge of the 6-yard box with no St Mirren player there, that it manages to get all the way down to the back post, and fair play to Richard King, gets there, good finish. So that was interesting, because I was speaking to someone through the week who we were talking about Devaney and the contribution he'd made, and the person said he's great, but doesn't make that many incisive passes. Right. That was one there. Do you know what? I thought you were going to come to me and ask me my opinion on him, and that's exactly what I've took away from him. As a young player, I think he's really tidy in the ball. He's always trying to be available. You just want to see him be that wee bit more progressive at times. Instead, I think he's a tidy football player, but St Mirren needing goals.
He's only 18.
Yeah, but listen, he's here to develop. He's here to get game time. But St Mirren and Dyer need their points. They need goals. So you just want him to be that wee bit more progressive and forward thinking with his passes, but he's came up with a massive contribution there. I said at the top of the show, you've always had that feeling with St Mirren over the last few weeks, if they go 1-0 down, you just don't see a way back for them. So I think it's of vital importance they've managed to get the first goal tonight.
So what do they do now? Do they go for the second one, or do they try?
They're doing that at the moment. They've got a corner at the moment. Strange decision with the goalkeeper Brathwaite coming there. He comes and it's on to catch the ball again. He punches it and he makes a mess of it and he punches it out for a corner. It's another corner.
So as it stands, St Mirren 1 point behind Kilmarnock going in to the final weekend.
Well, that was very nearly two more ahead there, David. Because
2 points.
Bruce Anderson at the back post. It's a lovely run, one you'd expect him to make. He sniffs out the chance. The goalkeeper, I think it's a combination of the goalkeeper and defender make the save. It's a beautiful ball in from the right hand side. Kilmarnock cranking up the pressure. Dundee not really shown much offensively, so it's one-way traffic.
I am getting carried away there. Obviously, it'd be 2 points behind, but then if St Mirren could somehow beat Dundee United and Kilmarnock don't win their final game, then it would be Kelly falling into that playoff spot. A chance there, Rory.
Oh, it's a huge chance, but it's Finlay Curtis with his head at the back post, I think. It's a corner that's whipped in, and I think he's got to do better, Andy. I know he's small and he's at the back post. He's maybe not used to being in that position with his head, but it looks to me, I'm looking through a lot of bodies, like he should score.
Well, the biggest surprise is Kilmarnock have worked that routine to get Finlay Curtis on the end of it. You're expecting them to work a set-piece routine to get a Robbie Dees. But no, it's Finlay Curtis who worked the block for him. He spins around the back post. It is the perfect delivery. I mean, it's on a plate for him to just nod it into that back post, and he gets it all wrong. I don't know if the trajectory, the corner is whipped. It's whipped at pace. It's quite flat. I don't know if there's a couple of bodies in front of him that means he doesn't quite see the flight of it. But there's no doubt whatsoever he should be scoring for there.
Yeah, was that Kilty
Great
that had the
chance. Sorry, great chance for Dunfermline. I think it's Matty Todd round the back. Terrific ball in from Kearney. Morrison's done well down the right hand side, laid it back to Kearney and he whipped it, and he's in acres of space. Matty Todd, he's not been picked up round the back. This game, he should have done far better. This game is so open for one that's for so important. It's really, really open. Two wingers on either side, both playing really, really wide. It's a cracking game.
Some desperate defending from Dundee United there, John.
It was a comical moment, David. The two centre backs run into one another, and it allows Robin Muirhead to run through and goals.
No.
East End Park. Andy, you caught that?
I think it's Ben McPherson. I think he's just completely the wrong side of Matty Todd, and when you see both players falling to ground at the same time, you always suspect there's contact. We're going to get a first replay of it right now. Matty Todd does ever so well to knock it beyond them. I mean, it's a foul. It's a foul all day long. The only question is whether it's outside the box or not.
He's inside the box.
It's 100% a foul.
Started outside the box.
The initial contact's outside the box. It's whether there's a continuation. But one thing's for sure: the fact that no foul's been given is incredible.
The referee has been so lenient, honestly, unbelievable. Maybe that's adding to the game right enough, but I mean, Neil Lennon will not be happy.
He'll be fizzing.
And also the way the centre backs, which I love Askoff, and are really kind of manhandling the strikers of Dunfermline, and they're being allowed to do it, you know. And if they get away with it, you know, fair play. But that certainly looked like a foul or a penalty to me.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you said, it's undoubtedly a foul. Matty Todd's danger man all afternoon, Collie, left hand side. Yeah,
I mean, he's quick. He's really direct. I think he's actually better playing off two strikers. But
half time, Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0.
Half time there. You fancy giving us a wee summary of the first 45, Rory?
Yes, indeed. There wasn't a lot of action in the opening 15 minutes, I have to say, David, but Tom Lowry did have the first of the opportunities, a 20-yard strike, which was comfortably saved by O'Hara. On 23 minutes, Dees played a wonderful ball from his own half into Hugo's feet. He knocked it off to Curtis. He took a touch and toe-poked it by O'Hara. However, the linesman did not spot the fact that there was an offside. VAR intervened and it remained 0-0. Anderson got booked, as did Dees, as the half wore on. Curtis had a header just on 45 minutes that he should have done better with, that he knocked wide. Dundee have shown little to nothing in attacking sense, so at half time it is Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0.
It's half time at Pittodrie as well, Tony.
Yeah, it is, and there's been one shot on target, and I've just seen it back there. A really, really good, well executed free kick. You know, they've changed the point of attack for a free kick. Devaney gets down the side, but I think they'll be really disappointed. Nicky Devlin in particular will be disappointed, and he's defending at the back post. You know, it's a great ball put across, but it should be defended better by Aberdeen. And I think Aberdeen have been pretty poor in this first half. I think they've had that style of play where they're going long, but it's
half time
East End for Dennis Geiger to get on the ball and maybe, you know, influence play a wee bit, maybe shoot the absence of Stuart Armstrong in the middle of the pitch. But I think the better team actually are ahead at the moment. It's St Mirren. They look, as you said earlier on, David, there's a bit of fight about them. They look a they look a threat, but there's not been much in terms of chances on goal. But I hope to see a wee bit more. I hope to see a wee bit more play from Aberdeen in the second half. But certainly St Mirren will be getting in the happier of the two, being 1-0 up.
Still playing at Tannadice in the first half, John Rankin.
Yeah, still playing. It was a chance for Livingston there, and then they got a block on it. Dundee United got a block on right at the edge, and it ends up 4v2. But they just overhit the pass, and it's Johnny Russell trying to get the cutter back. But it's a great block from the Livy defender. I think it might be Cammy Kerr.
Livingston enjoying the better of exchanges there.
Yeah, Livingston have had the better of the play. They've had more of possession round about the Dundee United area. They haven't quite capitalised. A lot of time, Dundee United's defending's been quite poor and clumsy at times. Defenders going for the same ball, and they have had chances in the break. Johnny Russell's had two of the best chances, one coming off his nose, another one coming off his heel, so he'll be disappointed with that. But again, Livingston have got a lot of entries into the box, but they haven't been quite clinical enough in front of goal.
Half time at East End Park, Ian, plenty of excitement there. A couple of goals coming within a minute of one another.
Yeah, I mean, it's been terrific. It really has. They've both been playing so attacking, and the sprinklers are on in this half of the pitch now. I'll report back, and that's the one that Dunfermline are attacking in the second half. I'll tell you if the sprinklers have been put on the other side of the pitch. But no, listen, Dunfermline, you heard the catcalls to the referee as he walked on, and I would say rightly so. I thought Andy was saying it might be outside the box, but it was a definite foul. And I thought he continued in the box. It might have been a penalty. But listen, it's been a terrific game. Kane nearly gave Dunfermline the lead after about 12 minutes, straight from the edge of the box. Really good Josh Clark save. Then, as you do that minute of madness, Matty Todd, a driven cross in, and Morrison has come in the back post, made a really good run. First time finish on this pitch was terrific. Dunfermline were dominant at that point. Then a minute later, really, really poor, shoddy defending. I think Fraser's got to do better. I think Chaloka Mullin's got to do better. I think Nick Gwenier's got to do better. Allowed Ben Stanley to run through, and from about 4 or 5 yards, I don't know how he got by Oxborough, because he didn't lift it by him, he just touched it by him, but it's right in front of the Thistle fans who went radio rental, as they say. And then the game became a bit more even, but the last 10 minutes of the half, again, it was Dunfermline that were the dominant side. Matty Todd had a really good chance, who's been excellent throughout the game, getting into that back post, but just couldn't direct his shot into the corner. But really, really good game. I mean, the two managers are playing incredibly attacking formations for a game of such importance. But at half time, it's Dunfermline 1, Partick Thistle 1.
So it's half time there, and the half time whistles have sounded around the country. It's also half time now at Tannadice. Dundee United 0, Livingston 0.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
Goal! From BBC Radio Scotland.
When they're racing across a faraway land, when the clock's ticking and money's dwindling, when you don't know how they'll make it to the next stop.
I can't believe they're so lost.
You got lost going to the supermarket.
It was just that one time.
Nothing brings us together like great TV. And a TV licence covers you to watch all TV channels, plus BBC iPlayer, so you can enjoy the journey of your favourite adventure travel show. It also funds everything you love from the BBC, including live radio, like this.
Like this, indeed. We are live with Open All Mics on this Tuesday evening. 3 matches in the bottom half of the Premiership, the penultimate round of fixtures there, and also the first leg of the Premiership playoff semi-final. That's East End Park. It's Dunfermline 1, Partick Thistle 1. Probably the most excitement coming in that one, Andy.
Yeah, I think it's been a fantastic game at the 4. It's got to be said. In terms of the top flight, we thought that relegation playoff spot was going to become clearer, given that we thought Aberdeen would be favourites and Kilmarnock at Rugby Park. But what it's done, it's just muddied the water again, which just sums up this Scottish Premiership season. It's a massive second 45 for St Mirren if they can hold on to this victory, put pressure on Neil McCann's Kelly to try and have a response in the second half. But that Dunfermline Partick game's been the pick of the bunch for me. We've just seen the goals again. There's definitely an element of fortune with Ben Stanley's finish. He just puts it into the ground, and it's that little ball that manages to lift it over Aston Oxborough. But the big talking point, the one that I've no doubt whatsoever that Neil Lennon's going to be talking about, we're probably just going to see it again. It's remarkable the referee doesn't give a foul. I mean, he's in a great position. He's only 10 yards away, and there's only 2 things that he can think's happened. That that Ben McPherson's got a touch on the ball or there's no contact. The fact that he thinks either of them is a possibility is unbelievable.
Yeah, Ian, I mean, your instincts, seeing it in real time and one time only, was that Thistle have got away with one there.
Yeah, listen, I've done that myself many years ago at East End Park. I've been in those situations where you're taken out by a fullback and sometimes you never get it, but it just looked, you just can tell if you've played or managed, you can tell it was a foul. I mean, my big bone of contention with whether it was in the box, I thought it looked in the box. You guys are telling me with the TV, are saying it might be just outside, but the one thing's for sure, it was a stonewall foul, and it was actually a terrific touch Matty Todd took to get across Ben McPherson. So yeah, I mean, the substitutes of Dunfermline surrounded the referee at half time as well. Give him.
Sorry, Collie, we're just seeing it now. It's a penalty. It's definitely a penalty.
Yeah.
So the initial contact for Ben McPherson is outside the box, but the continuation definitely takes it inside the box. It's a penalty kick.
Yeah, immediately I thought penalty kick. So I mean, Neil Lennon, the crowd here are raging about it. Neil will be raging. I mean, I think, as I've said, the referee, I mean, it kind of helped the fluency of the match, but that kind of decision, you've just got to get them right. I mean, you've got to get them right.
I saw a replay of the Lee Ashcroft tackle on Todd as well. He didn't get a yellow for that?
He didn't get a yellow, no. And I mean, it's quite incredible. I mean, and he's been let away with. And listen, Lee Ashcroft is a great boy and he gives you everything he's got, but he's been let off with manhandling Andrew Todd. I mean, the strikers have been backing in as well. It's been a really good battle, but that one, Andrew Todd's just got to the ball. He's committed to the challenge, Lee, and he's caught him. And it's a booking every day of the week. And it should be a penalty and a booking to McPherson. So they've kind of been hard done by, and it's reflected in the boos at half time that you heard.
Yeah, just the one goal in the 3 matches in the bottom 6, and it's come surprisingly, perhaps, Tony, for the league's lowest scorers. St Mirren away from home, they're playing Aberdeen. St Mirren have only managed a couple of away victories all season in the league. This would be a potentially huge 3 points for them.
Huge. It puts all the onus and all the pressure, if you like, on Kilmarnock to make sure they do their job. But certainly halfway through the match, the men are doing their job. It's a really well worked goal. We said it just before it that probably their best chance of scoring wasn't from open play, it was from a set play, and it's credit to them that it was an inventive set play. It wasn't just lumped into the box and the big guy's going to challenge for the header. It was actually well worked down the side, and then with that switch of play and that drive across the middle of the goal. But I'm sure Stephen Robinson, I think Aberdeen are missing a trick here, because the way the two formations are, they've got a dominance in the middle of the park. They've got 3v2, Geiger, Aremu and Palaversa against Steveni and Campbell in there, and they're not making that count because they're going long all the time. They're trying to play Olasanya, and they're really missing out that middle part of the pitch where I think they would get real dominance, they'd get control of the game, and they would manage to work themselves into better areas. So I'm anticipating there might be a change here. I've not seen anything from Palaversa, and I'm a big fan anyway, but I think Lyle Cameron in the middle of the pitch to utilise that area of the pitch to get a wee bit more dominance and more controlled football would help Aberdeen. But from a St Mirren point of view, I'm sure Craig McLeish will be saying just keep doing what you're doing. Now you've got that goal we were looking for. Now the onus is on. I've got to say, Gogic I think has been outstanding. He's marshalled Olasanya really well, so the onus is now on keeping that clean sheet, and you've done your job.
Well, I was going to say there, Andy, if any team knows how to deal with Olasanya, it will be St Mirren.
Yeah, well, it certainly should be, given most of them have trained against him for a long period of time. But Tony was talking there about the importance of set pieces. That's been Aberdeen's Achilles heel all season long. They've just struggled to defend these type of situations with previous manager, whether it's been Stephen Robinson within this tenure, and that'll frustrate Stephen Robinson to no end, because he's someone that prides on his organisation, whether that's for open play, whether it's for set pieces. And to give away such a cheap goal, like he says, when it gets to Jacob Devaney, it's an outstanding cross, but Aberdeen have so many bodies in the 6-yard box to try and deal with the situation, but take nothing away for the delivery. It's got plenty of pace on it, it's in that area, and Richard King's the one that's gambling at the back post to tap it in. It's a big goal.
Tannadice, you had the ball was in the net, John Rankin. Montano scored a header, but it was ruled offside. There was a lengthy VAR check and the decision stood, so it's goalless there, Dundee United, Livy.
Yeah, it's goalless, and to be honest, David, it looks like the end of the season feel about the game. Both teams are obviously United can still finish in 7th, and tonight would obviously help them with that if they could get the 3 points. Livingston are down, but they're certainly making a fight of it, and they've had the majority of possession, the majority of play round about the box. They have had the better chances. Obviously Stevie Mays had cut inside and had it off the post. It comes back out and there's just nobody there to tap it in. They did have the ball in the net, as you say. It came from a corner and it came back across, and at the time it looks as if he's in space, but obviously Andy has seen it again in the studio where Cleo Harding steps up, but again he's very brave to step up, because it looks like a matter of centimetres that he's actually offside, but he's there to tap it in at the back post. It's just a header back across from Finlayson, and he headers in at the back post. United, they've rode their luck at times of some of the defensive play from United, players running into one another and having to get last minute blocks. There is chances here for Livingston, but also on the counter-attack, United have been 4v2 in numerous occasions and just made the wrong choice of pass. Twice Johnny Russell said that the chances, one's come off his left heel where you'd expect him to score it, he'd expect himself to score, and the other one would come across and he tries to dive and head it at the back post, and it just comes off his nose and it goes nowhere. So
maybe a wee bit rusty.
Yeah, it just looks as if he lacks match sharpness. That's what it looks like. His hold-up play and everything's fine. It's just round about the box, getting a chance. But obviously, he's not started the game for a long time. So you can see that he lacks sharpness round about the box. But he's still in those areas. So they just need to keep feeding him. And hopefully, he'll take one of those chances. It's not been the most competitive game. There's not been a bad challenge. Cammy Kerr has won in the middle of the pitch. But that's the only booking that's been on show. Have been had so far, so it's not hugely competitive, as I said, but there is chances here, and hopefully we do get a goal.
Goalless there, goalless also at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 0, Dundee 0, and Kilmarnock a wee bit of work to do, Rory, if they're to guarantee their Premiership safety this very evening.
Yeah, they're doing what they can in spells of the game, David. They've not been at their swashbuckling best like the last couple of games they've been playing, but it's not the worst 0-0 I've ever seen, and that has been down to Kilmarnock. They've been on the front foot in transitional moments when Dundee have given the ball away. They've attacked quickly. They've done really well. Curtis has been a standout. I know we've discussed him a lot. Lowry's been good. Dees is playing some good passes, as is Thompson. So Dundee have offered nothing. They had a corner towards the end of the half. Out with that, Scott Wright's picked up some nice positions and shown he's a right good football player. But they've got a sign of a team who are made any changes, to be honest with you, David. They might turn up in the second half and have a little bit more about them, but they're lacking a little bit of tempo, a little bit of incisiveness, whereas Kilmarnock have got that. They haven't created a huge amount of chances. However, the ones they have created, they should have scored from, so they should be at least a goal to the good. Finlay Curtis missing the best of them with that header at the back post towards the end of the half, but no goals to speak of as of yet.
No goals there, no goals at Tannadice, 1 goal at Pittodrie and 2 at East End Park here on Open All Mics.
Scottish football lives here.
This is Open All Mics from Sports Sound.
Goal! From BBC Radio Scotland.
Yeah, welcome back, folks. Players beginning to take to the pitch for the second 45 minutes this evening in the matches at Pittodrie, at Rugby Park, also at Tannadice and East End Park. The action just about to get underway at Pittodrie. Any sign of changes for either Aberdeen or St Mirren, Tony?
Yeah, as anticipated, there's 2 changes from Aberdeen. Lyle Cameron has come on for a Fazer Remu in that middle of the pitch, and Jack Milne has replaced Liam Morrison. So I'm just looking, I think it's the same formation, but as anticipated there, they might get a wee bit more creativity in the middle of the pitch from Lyle Cameron.
Yep, that's what you're expecting from him, Andy?
Yeah, he started his loan spell at Aberdeen ever so well. He made a contribution, got a couple of assists for his set piece delivery, found himself sort of in and out recently, and I think Jack Milne's obviously been a surprising one. There was a lot of chat about him potentially being a Scotland defender in the years to come, but the fact of the matter is that individually and collectively Aberdeen defensively have been nowhere near good enough. Liam Morrison is another one. I think he's been disappointed. He's came with a big reputation, not quite materialised for him as well. But I mean, how many times has Aberdeen this season resulted in half-time substitutions to get the actions for their team? And they're going to need one in the second half.
Olasanya's in 1-on-1, and just like we spoke about earlier on, Gogic, what a wonderful recovery tackle that is, but takes too long. Olasanya's fed in, and it was Lyle Cameron, just like we said, he plays a wee pass over the top into Olasanya, and he's just on his stride, 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper, and he allows Gogic, good well-timed run, but his first touch is poor. His second touch is poorer, and Gogic gets in to recover that. But as anticipated, Lyle Cameron doing a wee bit of creativity that Aberdeen were lacking in that first half.
Yeah, you've called it perfectly, Tony. It's a great lofted weighted pass for Lyle Cameron, and yeah, he has two cracks at the whip to get a good touch to set himself all Lasagna. His first touch, he gets out his feet, but not enough distance on it to set himself for a shot. But then the second touch is completely under his feet, and it allows Gogic, who does have plenty of recovery pace, it must be said, to come back and divert out for a corner, which comes to nothing.
Aberdeen look a wee bit more on the front foot second half though, Tony, already.
Yeah, they have earlier. Before that, they'd move into the box and ended up in a Kevin Nisbet header. It goes over the bar. But that's all Lasagna for you, Andy. You know, I remember I watched them here against Hibs. You know, and if you remember, just his industry ends up getting Grant Hanley getting sent off, the ball over the top, and Hibs go down to 10 men, and that was such an important game for Aberdeen to win. So that's the positive side of
chance for Dundee. Ashley Hayes played down the left hand side by Finn Robertson. Good start to the second half from Dundee. Takes a touch out his foot. It's on his less favoured left hand side. He has the strike. Stryak saves it comfortably, but first real sign of goal from Dundee. 3 minutes into the second half, it's still 0-0.
What do you make of that finish, Andy? Could he have done better?
I mean, he strikes it well on his weaker side, almost strikes it too well. He strikes it that well that it just comes into the Matchday ex-midriff, so it's a fairly routine save from that point of view. But great play for Finlay Robertson, great drive and run through the middle. Great weighted pass again over at the left hand side for Ashley Hay. This time Ashley Hay, unlike Olasanya, sets himself up well with his first touch, gets out his feet. But yeah, like I said, probably strikes it too well, if anything.
Yeah, we've paid a lot of attention to Finlay Curtis for Kilmarnock, but it's not been a one-man show. Rory, other players have stepped up, specifically since Neil McCann and Billy Dodds came in as well. I'm thinking of the likes of Kilty.
Yeah, I think he was voted the Player of the Year as well this week, so he's had a right good season. Greg Kilty, I think Tom Lowry over the last few weeks, and Aaron Tishbola in that midfield have been man mountains at times, although they're not the biggest in stature. Lowry's been a really good performer tonight, so no, it's right to say, and I think as well he's shored up the defence. You know, Dees is a well-travelled centre back. Oh, it's a good corner, well worked. Oh, they get Finlay Curtis on it at the edge of the box. He strikes it with his right foot. Dundee don't see it, and he strikes it straight into a Dundee defender. They're unlucky there. But no, there's loads of Kilmarnock players that have stepped up since Neil McCann's come in. Robbie Dees has looked more like himself. Oh, Tom Thompson's as a shot is deflected, just goes wide. It's all happening. Kilmarnock have got another corner, but yes, to sum up, they've been excellent under Neil McCann.
Chance for United there. Long throw into the box from Ferry. It flicked on at the near post with Ross Graham, and it's a header at the back post. But Finlayson clears it off the line, and Scotty Harfield just comes out the tunnel with another coffee in his hand. Oh, chance again.
It was a goal for Hill, but it's offside.
Oh, a couple of things to talk about. I was actually going
East End Park in.
Sorry, East End Park. Sorry to interrupt the ranks. It was Aidan Fitzpatrick just got a loose ball through, but even before the linesman put his flag up, I thought it was 2 or 3 yards offside, and that's how it turned out. And he stuck it in the net anyway, but well offside.
So what's the coffee count for Scott Arfield?
Well, I did tell you he's a man that loves his coffee. I speculated it was his 9th of the day before the game, but I was going to bring it up, Ranks. I mean, what are we, 3-4 minutes into the second half, and he's just striding up with his coffee?
What's the coffee like at Tannadice, John?
I have a clue. I don't drink coffee. He nearly found himself one down, because Dundee United take not a short corner, it's a clever corner where they work the block, but it's Johnny Russell at the front area, and he can pull back on his left foot, and he can pull the trigger, and he just leans back and it flies over the bar.
This is
a chance again for him.
United's last home game of the season. John, what have you made of the season? I mean, they're 7th at the moment, possibly going to finish 7th, finished 4th last season, started this season in Europe. Has it been a wee bit of a so-so season?
I think, David, when you look at over the course of the season, the 1-1 between September and December, it kind of kills their season, and then they're left to try and play catch-up after that. But when you look at, obviously, the start of the season, I always think the teams that start in Europe, they find it hard to get going. And that's what Dundee United have had this season. But again, you look at what they lost last season. Sam Dalby scored, I think it was 15 goals in the Premiership. They've not replaced that, so it's always going to be difficult for them. They've stuck with the system that they have all the time. They've been solid defensively, they just haven't scored enough goals, and you can see that again tonight.
Ian, what have you made of Dundee United this season?
Yeah, I felt they were a hard watch at times. The form really fluctuated, and I think The centre-back thing was an issue for me, but Esselink and Iovo and even Karetzes, I just don't think defended well enough. But I think Jim will be disappointed as well. But I mean, they were in the Championship, they won it, then they went to 4th in the Premier League, so that, you know, it was a tough ask there was only going to be one club out with looks like the big ones that are in the top 6, and that was to be Falkirk. So, sorry, 2, Falkirk and Motherwell. So it was a tough ask this season to replicate what he did last year. So I think he's earned the right to build again, though. I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah, well, that's him 3 years this month in the job, Andy.
It's a long time.
Yeah, it is. I think is it the longest Dundee United spell since Jim McLean, which his was 25 years, and Jim Goodwin's is 3. So fair start to a difference, but done ever so well to get the club in the top 6 last year after getting promoted for the Championship. Tend to agree with Collie. You do look at that recruitment in the summer. A lot of players coming in from different leagues across Europe. Some have adjusted, some haven't. But I think defensively, I think Dundee United's success last year was built on that defensive record. Very, very threatening for set pieces. They long throws all season last year. This season it's not been the case. I think they've been fragile pretty much throughout the course. So I think that's something he'll certainly look to rectify in the summer. But it looks like it's been a cracking start to the second half at East End Park.
It has, and Callum Morrison is racing down the right hand side, getting to the byline as we speak. Corner kick. Yeah, there was a wee chance up the other end. It was Nguyen tried to clear the ball, and I think it hit off one of his own men, and it fell to Tony Watt about 6 yards. A real tough angle, and the striking, it was saved. So yeah, I mean, it started just the same as it did in the first half. The referee still been incredibly lenient for both sides.
At least he's been even-handed.
Well, listen, just get the big ones right, and he's got the big one wrong, I'm afraid.
Yeah, consistency's key.
I don't mind the leniency. There's probably only really been the one that I've seen. Obviously, Colley's been having a keener eye on it, but the tackle for Ashcroft, I think, is definitely one that should go punished. But listen, I'm all for referees being a bit more lenient, that's for sure.
Just when we were talking about Dundee United there as well, the pitch didn't really do them many favours this season either. There was that period when they were struggling to get games on, then a couple of games. I was at the one, John, I think you were as well, St Mirren visited there, and it was really, the pitch was horrendous. Similarly, I was at the game against Aberdeen, it was horrendous there. Didn't really allow either side to play any real football.
No, it worked the night then when Wilfred Nancy brought his Celtic side here, and it wasn't a great pitch that night either, but tonight there's so much more grass on it. It's not exactly what I thought it was going to be when I got here, but that has got a bearing on it as well. I'm not saying Dundee United play scintillating football and it would have made a big difference, but when you do want to get the ball down in the final third and be able to create maybe overloads or 1-2s, or try and get somebody to get a shot at the edge of the area, you have to concentrate, because it was pure sand. It was covered in it, but that has got a bearing on it as well. And again, though, look, any team coming here, I think they watched it that the St Mirren came here that night. St Mirren didn't try to play. Teams knew what they were coming into. It was just a battle. They were picking teams for a battle. And as I say that, Stevie May's just ran from the halfway line all the way across the pitch. I think it's Chevelle tries to make a challenge. He still skips by him and drills one past the post. A great chance for Livingston, but again, just that final bit for Livingston. When they get in front of the goal, they don't seem to be able to hit the target.
Oh, that was a decent effort.
Listen, I don't associate Stevie May with blistering pace, but I mean, he's managed to get by Kamara, and I'm not sure who that was. Sorry, if it's Savage as well, that he gets away from the two of them pretty easily. The sliding challenge comes in, he gets a ricochet, and as he catches it, it's always just sort of slicing away across the post there, but he catches it well. It's a good sign. I find myself covering 4 games, but I can't help be drawn to this game at East End Park. I mean, the game is literally being played on the flanks for either side. I mean, it's get the ball out to the wider areas, and how positive, how direct that all 4 players are for both sides over on that side. It's just lacking just that final ball essentially for the next goal.
Yeah, it's a free kick as well at the edge of the box. You can hear the ironic cheers from the referee. Amadi just touched it past Ben Stanman. He caught him a little bit late, so it's a decent position for Dunfermline.
Was that a free kick there? Andy, it looked a wee bit soft to me. Let's see.
I mean, first viewing, I didn't think it was a free kick. We'll get a chance to see it again. I mean, he nods it by. I mean, Ben Stanley almost pulls out the challenge. I can't quite see if that replay if there's contact or not, but in all fairness, Ben Stanley doesn't He doesn't
complain about it.
He doesn't seem too upset about the decision, so maybe there is more contact we think, but it's good position.
Yeah, chance for Dunfermline here, Ian.
Yeah, it looks like Fraser might hit it with his left foot, and he has. Good save. I mean, if you didn't get the first penalty, you're not getting that one. Morrison, I don't think that was a penalty, to be honest. I think he's thrown his heel to the ground a wee bit too easily. But a decent strike from Fraser and a comfortable save from Josh Clark.
Yeah, Morrison, he's just exchanging a few observations on that penalty.
We talked about Ben Stanley's reaction, suggesting that there maybe was contact there. If you look at the Partick Thistle players' reaction to that, I mean, they're straight away they're screaming in Callum Morrison's face that he's been down far too easy.
Yeah, it looked like a stonewall dive.
We've not had the opportunity to see it back, but given the players' reactions, that certainly seems the way it was. As the play just trounces down to the other end, it seems like a really good game at Eastern Park.
It's just end to end. It's just
Man John's in 1v1. Poor effort.
Ball's going out for a corner there. Pittodrie, Tony, the pictures I'm seeing, it looks like Aberdeen are really taking the game to St Mirren.
Real dominance. Real dominance. It's one-way traffic here, but they just hitting the counter there. Mandron's through 1-1, and it's a poor finish in his left side. But I've got to say what I'd said at half-time. Aberdeen are playing through the middle of the pitch. Lyle Cameron's come on, and he's been absolutely instrumental. And as I say, it's been one-way traffic in the first 11 minutes. But they've sprung another one. They're in behind. Phillips again, another counter-attack.
Well, I was going to suggest, Tony, that maybe this was St Mirren's modus operandi, try and hit Aberdeen on the break second half, the way they kind of did most of it.
Sorry, Andy, can you have a look at that? I'm sure Lee Ashcroft headed that, and I think it was it was going in the goal for Partick Thistle, and I think Ben McPherson, it hit off Ben McPherson on the line.
Yeah, I've seen it first of all. I've not managed to get a replay yet, but it's a free header. He's directed it towards goal, and it's blocked maybe 2-3 yards out. It looks for all the world it's going to certainly be going on target, that's for sure. We've not had the chance to look back, but Lee Ashcroft still gets his head in his hands, which suggests it was his own player.
And Fairmont on the attack again.
This is turning into a really good game here at Pittodrie. Frames just broke through and a shot. The goalkeeper's made a good save, but the game's become really open now. As I say, Aberdeen dominating it, but St Mirren hitting the counter, but Aberdeen again, and a shot on target there. So yeah, the game's really hit up. There's a wee fire underneath it now, and it's a good game to watch now.
Things heating up at Rugby Park at all, Rory? I see a substitution about to be made.
Yes, that's as far as the heating up goes, I'm afraid, David. Bruce Anderson has come off, and Marley Watkins has come on for Kilmarnock. Kilmarnock are large periods of dominance with the ball, but they haven't really created anything in this second half. It's Dundee going the other way. They've had to soak up a bit of pressure, but Amari Samuels has had a bit of joy and a wee bit of room in this left-hand side, but his delivery hasn't been on point, and that's why we are still 0-0 at this moment in time. But Neil McCann has twisted first.
Yeah, we did manage to see a replay of that chance for Partick Thistle.
Yeah, we've just seen it. It is Ben McPherson that blocks it 3 yards out.
Is it going in?
Well, Robbie Fraser's getting back on the line. Obviously, we'll never know if he manages to divert it away or not. But Aston Oxford's reaction to Ben McPherson blocking it is giving him a wee tap in the back and saying thank you.
Anything much to report from Tannadice, John, second half?
No, there was a cross. Dundee United were on the attack, and again Livingston stole the ball, played a diagonal. It comes to the left-hand side, and Smith's cutting inside, and he can play Cammy Kerr. He chooses not to and plays it wide. And as it goes wide, Macaulay clips it to the back post. Cammy Kerr's got a free header. You're expecting it to go in, but it goes past the post. Again, a great chance for Livingston, but one that they haven't taken again. There is chances here for them, because there is gaps in the Dundee United, in behind Dundee United's midfield and defence. There's lots of gaps, and again they're in, and the goalkeeper makes a great save from Montana this time. Livingston again and one with the goalkeeper, and it's a great save. He should probably do better, actually, when you look at it.
What do you think?
I've got a screen beside me, and he should do better.
Yeah, it's a lovely little scoop pass, got to be said. But like I mentioned the Stanley goal earlier, Ranks, he actually hits it into the ground that manages to lift it over the goalkeeper. Montano, goes for the more I actually think, looking at it, but does he try and cut that back?
It looks to me as if the goalkeeper catches it touches it with his left hand, so it's maybe going across the goal.
Yeah, I mean, it's a poor finish, that's for sure, because even if it does go by the goalkeeper, it's not going on target.
Wee chance for Aberdeen there, Tony.
Kevin Nisbet's got to score for me. Just that tussle I'm talking about with Gogic and Olasanya, it's a ball down the channel, and Olasanya gets his shoulder charge on him, and He comes out on top, wins the ball, and he just squares it to Kevin Nisbet, and you're expecting Nizzy with his quality there, the ball to be nestling in the net, but I don't know, is it taking a wee ball? Nah, it's just poor execution. He should score, he knows himself, his
he's about
standards.
10 yards out, 10 yards out and just clips it over the bar.
Yeah, should score.
Yeah, how do you think's coming out on top in that battle between Olasanya and Gogic?
In the second half it's Olasanya, first half hands down it was Gogic.
Really dangerous free kick at East End Park for Dunfermline. The referee has finally stopped a defender coming through the back of I think it was the striker Kane. What defender was it? It was O'Reilly, and it's in a really, really good position for a left footer.
Yellow card this time, or?
No. I don't think he's got one in his pocket, to be honest.
It was a strange one, wasn't it?
It's so rash, it's got to be said. I mean, it is so rash.
They were the type of ones he was letting go the whole of the first half. Exactly that type of challenge.
Yeah, he's going for a ball that he can't win, O'Reilly.
How would you describe that challenge?
I mean, usually if you're going in to try and win the ball, you'll almost try and hook your leg round the attacker to try and divert it away, but he literally just runs into the back of him. I mean, he's far too overzealous, shall we say, to commit a foul for no more than 20 yards out, 21 yards out maybe.
Good chance.
Oh, what a finish! I think it's Tom Lowry for Kilmarnock. It goes down the right hand side, it gets crossed in, it deflects, and Tom Lowry absolutely laces it right into the top corner of the net to make it Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 0. You have to say it is deserved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not quite sure. We'll get to see in the replay who it is on the right hand side, but he trundles it towards Lowry and he catches it sweetly on the half volley. As Rory says, I mean, it arrows into that far top corner. I'm going to say it, you know what it means again. St Mirren are heading for that 11th spot if it stays the same.
Yeah, the pendulum swings heavily in favour of Kilmarnock. They would move on to 37 points. St Mirren, as it stands, on 33 with just one round of fixtures to go. St Mirren at home to Dundee United on Sunday, while Kilmarnock will be at home to Livingston. They can probably, at the moment, it looks as though they'll be able to go into that with a degree of comfort and assurance that they will be in the Premiership next season. Rory says Kelly deserves to be on top. What do you think, Andy?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly off the basis of the chances we've seen so far. Finlay Curtis has had three opportunities, one that's ruled out, one that he doesn't quite catch, and one that he should score for the set piece. And then it's Tom Lowry. He's not renowned for his goals, that's for sure, but I mean the finish is absolutely outstanding. It's got to be said. It's not an easy finish. That catches it ever so sweetly in the half volley, laces it into the top corner. It's
right
a massive
on the angle,
goal.
way up high as well, and as soon as he caught it, you could just see it going straight into the top corner. Beautiful to watch.
Yeah, he's another one that's come into his own in recent weeks under Neil McCann, Rory.
He's been great tonight. I watched him here. I've watched him here a few times, and he's been really, really good. He's so tenacious in the middle of the pitch. Very rarely gives the ball away. Him and Tishbola dovetail really well. Tishbola's more combative. And Tom Lowry does get stuck in, but manipulates the ball really well. He takes his touch, he moves it on, he doesn't mess around, he doesn't take too many touches, and that finish just tops off his evening tonight. He's been excellent.
We noticed, we were talking earlier on about Greg Kilty winning the Kilmarnock Player of the Year. I noticed that David Watson won the Fans Player of the Year, which I found ever so surprising.
Yeah.
He's found himself out the team for large parts.
Rory?
Yeah, no, listen, he's not played as big a part as I think anyone hoped. Young Scottish player this season. I watched him at Tannadice earlier in the year, and they won. That was their last away win before the weekend, and he was outstanding. I don't know whether the fans maybe just felt at the time the voting took place, if they were still in 11th spot. I don't know when it happened, that he'd maybe contributed enough earlier in the season when they gathered points to maybe merit it. Homegrown kid as well maybe played a part. So I do agree it was a bit of a strange one, but those are the only reasons I can think that would maybe bump him up the voting list.
Maybe trying to raise the price when he gets sold off at the end of the season.
Oh, sold off out of contract. So they didn't well to bump any type of price up, that's for sure. But he's been linked with plenty of clubs, and probably through previous seasons and this season, it's got to be said. I thought he did ever so well the year before. He was up for the Writers' Young Player of the Year. I think he was just picked out to Lennon Miller, who I know ever so well. And it's been a slightly disappointing season for David Watson. Obviously, when you're a young player and you break through and you do well, you want to continue that trajectory. Football it's never like that. You obviously have your highs and lows. He's had some of his lows this year, but I'm sure he'll get a move.
I think being out of contract as well, Andy, can play with a young player's head. You know, you're not quite sure what's going to happen. You know, you're out of contract at the end of the season. It's not really circumstances which would dictate you playing your best football, as well as being in a relegation battle as well.
Yeah, I've worked with young David, and he's a really good young. And that year he was nominated for Player of the Year. 2 years ago, I think it's because he scored really, really important goals. If you remember, he scored goals at Ibrox and Parkhead, and the biggest strength in David's
his goal
game
up at Pataudry, Tony, was wonderful.
That one as well, yeah. So he scored big goals in big games that season that Kilmarnock finished in the top 6, and I think that was why he was nominated. But I don't know whether a different style of play, I don't know, less direct, I don't know, but he's just certainly. He's come off it a wee bit, but I think he's a good enough personality. Certainly he's got the mentality. I think you're maybe right about the contract situation, but he's a good player, and he played to his strengths. He's a really good attacking midfield player.
I'm just having a look at that just now. Dundee on the ball, on the attack. Rory, have they offered much in the second half?
They had a couple of opens, as I say, down the left-hand side through Amari Samuels. The ball's been worked well. Everything's kind of coming through Scott Wright. All the build-up play, his positioning's really good. He's just let himself down a few times with his touch or his pass. He's maybe just a little bit rusty. They're about to make a triple substitution, so I'll update you on that when it happens. But that's what you've just watched there, is kind of what Dundee have been tonight. They get to the final third relatively well, and then nothing. It doesn't really amount to anything. As Kilmarnock, just goes over the bar. Goal kick. So
Thistle have just rang the changes, David, and it's indicative of how the game's going, because Dunfermline have absolutely dominated. They've taken off Watt, Latosa and McPherson, brought on Alex Samuel, bit of a cult hero at Firhill these days, Robbie Crawford, and Logan coming on at right back.
Is that a yellow card for Ocean Smith? Did I see that as well, Ian?
I was looking. I missed
I just
that
saw it
because
come up on the screen.
I was looking at the subs coming on. I thought I did magnificent getting the free sub spot on, and you're
you did very well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's
a chance
good
for
play.
Dunfermline.
Couple of substitutions here as well. Nicky Devlin comes off for Dylan Loban, and Kevin Nisbet comes off. I think he's injured. And Topi Keskinen on. Same formation. Topi Keskinen on as a striker. Dylan Loban on as the right wing back.
Yeah, looks like a lot of substitutions down at Rugby Park as well.
Yes, indeed. Charlie Riley, Joe Westley and Joe Bevan are coming on. Ashley Hayes, Scott Wright and Clark Robertson depart. Maybe a slight change of system, we'll wait and see. Disappointed Ashley Hayes gone off. I've ploughed that long furrow many a time where you're not really getting any joy, and it's frustrating when you come off after 67 minutes and get the great shift shout as opposed to the great goal shout. So he'll be frustrated, but yeah, we'll wait and see what Dundee can produce now. It looks like they're going to a back four.
I can confirm Ocean Smith has been booked, David.
Well, thanks very much.
No
I missed it. I just saw it being flashed up on the screen there.
Found these cards eventually. What I will say is that I think there's been more deserving yellow cards in that one.
Absolutely.
So that must
two
be
in
said,
the first half.
Yeah, but it's about time, that's for sure.
Yeah, how do you see this one going? I mean, you were saying, Ian, that Dunfermline were in the ascendancy. Do you think those changes will make much of a difference for Thistle?
Well, we shall see. They certainly haven't changed the structure or the shape of the team, but I mean, Aidan Fitzpatrick's just fired the ball right across the box, and then Ben Stanley to the strike. But Dunfermline have been, I mean, they've been really, really dominant, and really, they don't look leggy at all. Thistle haven't played well at all, but they're still right in the game, and they're still dangerous because they've got pace down both flanks. Chalmers, for me, needs to do more, and so does Aidan Fitzpatrick. They both need to do more, but they're still in the game. Dunfermline have been, and in the second half, I think they've been excellent.
Thistle be happy taking a 1-0 scoreline back to Firhill.
If you offered them 1-1 just now, getting out of East End Park, I'd think they'd bite your hand off for that. Yeah.
Looks like we've got a player down at Tannadice, John.
Yeah, it's a corner, and United throw bodies at it, and they go and attack at the front post area. But I think it's Scott Pittman that just takes one. Somebody runs into him, but he's down. He's been down for a little while before the referee waves the treatment on. So he's there just now, and on that, Johnny Russell's going to come off, so he's not going to get his the goal that he really wanted tonight. He said he has had 3 chances and he'd be disappointed not to get it, so he's coming off, and Pittman's still getting treatment in the 6-yard box.
Yeah, is that new facial hair Johnny Russell's got? I don't remember. I remember him being clean shaven, I think, the last time I've seen him. He's obviously been growing that beard until he gets a start, John.
Yeah, he's been growing it for
2013.
Listen, he's a cult hero here. The fans love him, and I think everybody knows he would have loved to have scored at Tannadice again. to give him something back. But he just looks as if he's short of match sharpness, but he's certainly not short of a willingness to work. He's worked his socks off here tonight.
That was a good chance for United there, Andy.
It was indeed. It's been a game that looked again. It's ebbed and flowed. Pretty much what we said at East End Park. Probably needs a goal, as we're just seeing that they're signalling for Scott Pittman to come off now as well.
Yeah, I'm just looking here. Tony Ross Sinclair just plucking a cross out the air for. So man, he's not done badly at all for the buddies. Brought in as an emergency signing. I think that's his third game.
Yeah, he's looked accomplished on tonight's performance, but it's a poor ball. I thought Dylan Loban, it's too flighty, too up in the air. You know, it's got to be whipped across into that area. But interesting, I think Aberdeen have dropped off a wee bit. And I think you see the importance of Kevin Nisbet. They put Topi Keskin in. That was the second striker to work with Olasanya, and for me, I can't see that working. I think they need to have that kind of partnership, and I don't know, you know, they've certainly been more blunt since Nisbet's went off, but yeah, I think there's another goal at least in this game.
Yeah, although as things stand, it won't really matter if St Mirren get another one, go away with the 3 points there and a couple of goals, because that Kilmarnock goal from Tom Lowry's going to kill them, Andy.
Yeah, but what I will say is they've not had many clean sheets this season, St Mirren, have they? So still plenty to play for in that game at Pittodrie. And like you says, Kilmarnock, you do feel at this moment in time, if a second goal is going to come, it's going to be for the Rugby Park outfit. So it's looking a bit ominous just at this moment in time for St Mirren, but we'll soon see.
That was Gogic getting the better of Olasanya there. I could watch that battle all night.
So what games, David? What games did Gogic? He's missed a few games recently.
He's missed a couple. He missed the game there at the weekend.
See, I think
he missed the one previously.
I think he's such a watching him and knowing him and played against him and all that. I think he's such an instrumental player. He holds things together, and he's been really. There's a wee 10-minute period, but you've just seen it again there with his duel with Olasanya. I think he holds that team together, and again, going back to that maybe bad fortune that St Mirren have had to have missing a key player like him. I know Marcus Fraser was out for a bit as well. These are the boys, I think, when you're in that situation down at the bottom of the league, these are the boys that will dig it out for you, and it certainly looks like Gogic tonight, you know, he's been pivotal in their so far 73rd minute clean sheet, and you can see him barking at the rest of the players and organising the back line, and he's such a big figure in that team.
He's a force of nature, Ian.
Yeah, I mean, I think Doc's right. I mean, I don't think it was just the games he missed. I think when other players missed and he had to be moved, as I said before, he does well in the field, but he's hugely effective playing in the middle of the back three if you play with back three, and he's a real leader. And I think when they took him out of that position, yes, it strengthened the midfield because of the players that were out, but it seriously weakened the back three. So a big player for them.
Just a 14 yellow cards this season.
Well, that's not too bad.
It couldn't have been the ref. It's at East End Park, that's for sure. That gave many, but listen, just to follow up what the guy says, I think what's the most impressive thing for me is his positional sense. I think he reads the game ever so well, which for me is why he's suited to that middle of the back three. He's got pace as well. He can recover situations. I do think you were talking about earlier about Stephen Robinson potentially robbing his old side. I think if I'm putting my money on anyone, I think it would be Gogic making that road
maybe a wee bit long in the tooth though for a.
You think so?
I'm not sure.
He's just taking it, isn't he?
I'm just looking for reasons for him not to move, but I mean, you talk about the hand that Craig McLeish was dealt could hardly have been crueler. You look at the Shamal George injured in training just before the Cup semi-final against Celtic. Ryan Mullen injured, the stand-in goalkeeper. They had to bring in an emergency signing. You've also got the likes of Bacchus out for a long time. A young
chance. Finlay Curtis again, left-hand side. It's that same finish again, the instep, and it's on the left-hand side. It's difficult to tell from my angle, but it looks like he just whisked by the post, and Finlay Curtis' reaction tells you that's what happened as well. Should be 2-0.
Goalkeeper get a hand to that one, Andy?
We'll just see it again now. It looked as if he did.
Certainly a goal kick's been given and there's been no complaints.
Yeah, but it's a little flick out he does. But I'm not sure. I think if he does, it's the slightest of fingertips. He just direct it. But again, I know we're going to this a lot in terms of player reactions. It doesn't look as if, I think Finlay Curtis is more disappointed that he's not scored more than anything. But it looks as if there's ever so slightly fingertips that diverts it round the post. But I mean, Dundee can't keep giving Finlay Curtis opportunities, because if he gets another one you wouldn't put it past him to finally get it right. But I mean, that's one thing I have noticed. We've talked about his goals, his contributions at the top end of the pitch, but it feels as if chances just consistently drop to him.
Or is it a case that he just goes? Is that a case he just goes where the defenders aren't?
Just an unbelievable bit of play. That Dunfermline are playing some absolutely brilliant stuff. I mean, they didn't score the goal there, but great play to work out to the left-hand side. And I think Morrison, who's been terrific tonight, has slid in Fraser, and he's cut inside the Logan, the right back. And I thought it was going to nestle in the far corner. And I don't know how much it missed by, probably more than it looks from my angle, but I thought it was in. Just great play from Dunfermline there. Couldn't get the goal. It was still 1-1.
That was Finlay Curtis territory there, wasn't it?
It was a Finlay Curtis type finish as well. I mean, Dunfermline's use of the flanks all afternoon
fabulous.
Has been terrific. And they worked that little 2v1 down the left-hand side. And for as much as Ashcroft's a really good defender, he doesn't want to be caught 1v1 in A positions, that's for sure. Robbie Fraser just sells him with the wee dummy, works onto his right foot, tries to bend it with his weaker foot into that far corner and doesn't quite get it right. But I mean, it's been a really, really entertaining game at East End Park.
Oh, what a goal! Charlie Riley has cut back to him, and he's on the angle of the box on the far right-hand side, and he half volleys it. Tom Lowry, take a seat. Charlie Riley, step up. Absolutely pings it into the top bin. The 100 or so Dundee supporters are on their feet. It's one apiece.
They'll be on their feet. The St Mirren fans at Pittodrie were on their feet as well. But what a finish.
Goal. I mean, without over-egging it, that is an elite level finish. I mean, it doesn't take the greatest of touches. It gets caught under his body, and he almost just stabs at it with his laces on the half volley. And I talked about Stevie May's finish earlier, arching away, slicing away past the post. I mean, this starts outside the post and arches its way into the far corner. It's an unbelievable strike. Max Stryjek has absolutely no chance.
I was wondering if it took a wee deflection there, Andy, but I don't think it does.
Do you know what? I said it's a poor touch. I completely take that back. It's a poor pass to him. I mean, the pass is bobbled in, and his touch is caught under his foot. Oh my word, every time you see it back it gets better and better. What a goal.
Do you know what I was just about to say, Andy, as well? We touched on the fact they'd made so many changes, and we talked about St Mirren and the predicament they're in, but I was looking up at the 100, 200 Dundee fans, and I was thinking, see if that goal hadn't went in just before it. I wonder what they're thinking. They've come all the way down here to see their team on a Tuesday night. There's a potential that Kilmarnock could overtake them, but I still think it's a bit of a strange decision from Stephen Presley overall, but I thought it might just have saved them.
Yeah, and I mean, what a way to save them. We could talk about that goal all afternoon. It is, like I said, it is finish of the night, that's for sure. Finish of the week, it's tremendous.
Yeah, meanwhile, Charlie Usenborough has come on, 16 years old for Dundee.
St Mirren have got a free kick just on the arch at the 18-yard line. Big opportunity for them here just with that goal obviously going in now if they were to get a second goal.
Was that a yellow card as well, Tony, there?
Yeah, Dennis Geiger, he's just been substituted as well for Graham Shinney. But there's 3 or 4 over the ball with St Mirren here, and it's a real good opportunity, 22, 23 yards from goal.
Just wondering who's going to take it.
I was thinking the same thing. They've got about 6 players over the ball.
Plenty of choice. I'm going to go for Phillips. I'm going to go for over the bar. Let's see what happens.
Gogic, oh, he's hit the bar. Oh, great free kick. He's just clipped one over the wall and it's just hit the bar flush. Ball across it. It's a goal. It's a goal for St Mirren.
Wow.
Man's on, put the ball across, and it's Phillips scored.
The man you spoke about being a threat. Looks like St Mirren are going to beat Aberdeen. My goodness. Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 2, and it's Kilmarnock 1, Dundee 1, so a couple of points between them as it stands going into the grand finale of the bottom 6 at the weekend.
Well, before we get into the goal, Tony, we talk about Killian Phillips celebrating his teammates' goals. What about his celebration there? I mean, he's directing a lot of his jubilation towards the Aberdeen fans. We got a shush, we got cup tears, we got a punch, we got a knee slide, we got it all in the space of 10 seconds.
I think he's letting the Aberdeen fans know that didn't he really enjoy his time up here, maybe?
Yeah.
He got a wee bit of a hard time, but...
And do you know what? We waxed lyrical about Gogic and his attributes. I've never took him as a set-piece specialist, and it's a brilliant free kick. It's touched onto the bar. I mean, St Mirren do ever so well just to
badly defended by Aberdeen.
Andy, does it look in the tail? Does it look as if there's a free kick in the wide area? That's what all the Aberdeen fans are booing the referee about. They thought it was a free kick leading to the cross that came into the box.
I thought it was a free kick to St Mirren.
I mean, it would be soft. I would need to see it again. It certainly would be soft.
Is there a check?
Bandon does well.
Goal given. So it's Aberdeen 0, St Mirren 2.
Yeah. Massive, especially with that goal for Charlie Riley, that's for sure. I mean, this season almost ends almost deserves a last game shootout between that 11 spots, such as the turbulent nature of it. So it looks as if at this moment in time we're going to get it.
So the Aberdeen changes not making much of a difference so far, Tony. Although
I think they've weakened them. I think the substitutions they made have weakened them. You know, there doesn't seem at the start of the game. I thought the first 10 minutes, second half, Lyle Cameron was making a mark on it. I think there's been a real drop off since Kevin Nisbet's went off and Toby Keskinen went through the middle. He's not a striker, he's a wide player, and I just think they've lost their way a little bit. And for credit to St Mirren, they've sniffed it and they've taken that opportunity to go 2 goals up.
One of the biggest enigmas in Scottish football is Toby Keskinen for me. You know, at times you watch him, he's so pacey, he's so direct, can make things happen. Then you can go in a 3-4 game stretch when you watch him and he just doesn't get involved in the football game at all. I think he's a frustrating player because I think he's got talent. I thought he had a decent season last year, but just not had that same impact at all this year.
I don't know how Barry Thistle survived that. It was an unbelievable corner in from Matty Todd. You guys have a look at the studio because it looked like somebody was just tapped into the net.
I think was it Young Fife as well, Collie?
Well, yeah, and maybe Young Fife had a mad, maybe he took the corner, but there was somebody had a mad swipe. It might have been Matty Todd round the back, an effort to go, but the corner in was fabulous. And it just looked as if, you know, the goalkeeper was nowhere. It looked as if the Dunfermline were going to take the lead, which I've got to say they fully deserved. They've been outstanding in the second half.
You know what struck me about that corner there, Andy? The lack of grappling. Having watched West Ham Arsenal in the English Premiership and seen a lot of grappling in Scottish football this season, that looked a fairly clean corner. There wasn't hardly anything going on
if
there.
You're going to grapple in any league, it's the ones without VAR, that's for sure. But yeah, no, it is. It breaks to Young Fife at the back post.
It was Young Fife, yeah.
I mean, he gets a decent enough contact on it, but it's never troubling the goal, that's for sure. It's a good 3-4 yards wide. Listen, he came on in the semi-final, put himself in a cut-up position to get that hero's goal for Dunfermline. Doesn't quite get them right, but looks as if he's somebody that can sniffs out danger, sniffs out chances. That one falls for him. He'll be disappointed to not hit the target, that's for sure. But yeah, it's you wouldn't rule past another goal at Eastern Park, that's for sure.
You sniff out a goal for us at Tannadice, John?
Nothing at all. There's been nothing, David, since the last time you came to me. There's been lots of counter-attacks from spaces, but it's been the final ball that's let us down. Anything that goes into the box has just been cleared or it's been overhit. It's been really poor in the final third.
Well, here's an interesting stat. If St Mirren were to hold on for a win here at Pittodrie, 2-0 up, not that long to go in that game, that would be Craig McLeish's third win, St Mirren's 8th win of the season. Stephen Robinson only managed 5.
Oh, it's a penalty to Kilmarnock. Oh, and it's the youngster. I feel for him, Charlie Usenborough. He's just on, he's 16. He's just a little bit too eager. And he brings down, I'm not quite sure who it is, but I feel for the young lad because he's just tried to get there before the forward player and he's caught him. It is a penalty kick, I think, Andy.
Is he clever there, Tishbola, Andy?
I mean, Matt, do you know what? I'm still gutted for the young man, to be honest with you, even commenting on it. Young boy being given the opportunity. You think if anything he can go in with his head, but he decides to go with his feet when the ball's maybe 4 or 5 feet in the air. We're just about to see it again. And Tishbola's clever. Tishbola's extremely clever. I don't know if there's actually much contact there.
Is it a penalty?
To be honest,
could it be a penalty?
I think the young man actually tries to pull out the challenge, but Tishbola, he certainly gets there first, that's for sure. I don't think there's much contact, it's got to be said.
I think it's been confirmed, Andy. He's just pointed to the spot again. I think it's going to be Finlay Curtis who's going to step up and take the penalty. He'll need to face Kieran O'Hara in the goals, and it's a huge moment. Not only
I don't think it is him. I think it's someone else that's taking it.
Oh, is it Hugel?
Yeah, it's Hugel.
That's Hugel. Yeah, they actually look quite similar from a distance, but so, you know, St Mirren fans in Aberdeen and Paisley will be holding their breaths right now as Joe Hugel takes a few steps back, takes a step to the left. The whistle goes, he steps up. Oh, good finish. Low to the keeper's right-hand side. The keeper guesses right, can't quite make it, and he does a knee slide on the AstroTurf, which is never advisable. But Kilmarnock 2, Dundee 1.
Yeah, 2-1 to Kilmarnock. That again would move them on to 37 points, and they would be safe, Andy.
Yeah. Listen, I'm still a wee bit gutted for young man, it must be said. He's obviously getting his opportunity in a night where Stephen Presley's made a lot of changes. I think that very much falls in the realm of, if a penalty is not given, I don't think VAR intervenes. Because a penalty is given, they've deemed it not a clear obvious error. But I think it's extremely soft. I think the young man tries to pull out the challenge, but Tisboa uses experience to almost, absorb if there's any contact, absorb what there is, and falls to the ground. And
I'll try and be as objective as I possibly can be. It looks to me as if he's going to ground before the challenge is made.
Yeah, VAR certainly has more
Devil's advocate
we've seen so far, so they might have seen something different. But gutted for the young man.
Penalty at Tannadice.
Oh,
penalty at Tannadice. David, there's something happened here. I mean, there's excitement. United are trying to build out for the back. It's a crossfield pass into Cleo Harding, and as he goes to take it, it's overhit, so he goes to keep it in. He keeps it in with his chest, but he falls out the pitch. Zimmerman drives inside, and as he drives inside, he cuts inside to try and get onto his right foot. And I'm not sure who it is, whether it's Ross Graham or one of the centre backs come across. They put their body across him when he goes down, but Grant Irvine doesn't hesitate, points straight to his spot. So it's a penalty at Livingston, and Stevie May's got the ball in his hand.
What do you make of them apples, Andy?
Yeah, I've just seen it back now. Cuts in his right foot. There's no doubt about that one. It's a penalty kick. Cleo Hardin's wrong side.
Clumsy.
Tries to step do you know what? I take it back already. I take it back already for the second angle. I mean, you mentioned there that Tisboa's going down before the contact. Definitely going down before the contact there. I'll be really surprised if VAR doesn't intervene here.
Right, Killian Phillips nearly cuts inside his right
foot. Is it Cleo Hardin trying to fix his mistake originally, comes back in? Yeah, it's going to VAR.
This will get over.
It's going to the screen.
Is it a booking for diving?
Listen, potentially. I must admit, I got it wrong. For the first angle, it looks as if there is contact. He bundles him over, but we then see another angle behind the Dundee United goal, and without a shadow of a doubt, he's going down before the contact's made. This should be overturned, and they're showing the referee the second angle we got. It's never a penalty kick.
Yeah. Oh, it looks clear. He's on his way down before the defender's near him, isn't he?
Yeah.
So there's a chance there for St Mirren as well, Tony, that we missed.
Yeah, and Shinnie's just hit the bar for Aberdeen. But a great effort earlier on by Killian Phillips.
That sounds like a cracking game now. There indeed is a yellow card for the Livingston player, for Zimmerman, for simulation.
It's Zimmerman, and do you know what? I get annoyed. I mean, we all hate that type of thing in football. We hate the play acting, the down, whatever it may be. What I hate more is the protesting to the referee, knowing that they're going to get to watch replays.
That is as clear a case of simulation as
looking for that.
There's a bit of a flashpoint at Rugby Park. Neil McCann has substituted off Marley Watkins. He brought him on in the 58th minute, and obviously they've went 2-1 up, and he's sacrificed a forward player, and he's chosen to take Marley Watkins off. He was not happy about it in the slightest, and it was a bit of a flashpoint. There was a heated exchange as Lewis Mayo was about to go in the book. It was a heated exchange between him and Neil McCann. Neil McCann was trying to grab him to get his attention, so it'll be interesting to see what he says about that afterwards. But Marley Watkins not happy.
That was a robust challenge from Lewis Mayo there, Andy.
Yeah, it was. His introduction into the game is a poorly timed challenge, must be said. I must admit, I'm looking forward to what transpires in the remaining minutes of this game. I'm looking even more forward to Neil McCann's getting the question asked about Marley Watkins' reaction there.
Did you see it?
We never, but the way you've described it, I don't think Neil McCann will be too happy with the protest.
No, he wouldn't. I mean, I can understand Watkins' frustrations, to be fair. Oh, corner Dundee, it's flicked on there by Cotterill, I think it is, and the keeper needs to make a save. It's Callum Jones, actually. So corner for Dundee. Kilmarnock not over the line yet.
Did that ever happen to any of you gentlemen, coming on as a sub and then being subbed? Nobody's admitting to it anyway.
I've been given the old hook after 30 minutes because we got a red card, but that's about as bad as it got.
thankfully I've not been subbed and subbed, but listen, I've had a very high profile being subbed after 40 minutes, that's for sure. So I've been in the wrong end, some early substitutions. It wouldn't surprise me one bit if the St Mirren fans up in Pittodrie are more focused on flash score at this moment in time than what's going on at Pittodrie.
Or maybe, wait a minute, Andy, or listening perhaps to Open All Mics.
Or listening if they've got their headphones in.
Other score apps available, of course, as well. But stay tuned to us.
Half chances, David, for Thistle, who've come back in the last 2 or 3 minutes. Dunfermline have been fabulous second half. But Aidan Fitzpatrick had good chance around in the wide area. Good save from Oxborough. Then there's a good cross in the box there. And Alex Samuel, from here, I thought it was going to glide in the corner. Good cross into the box. He's rose, he's got his header in just past the post. I mean, Dunfermline have been utterly dominant. But you know what? That was Thistle just coming back into it. You don't know if Dunfermline are tiring now, but it's still 1-1.
Yeah, Collie, I mentioned the two wingers for Partick Thistle, Fitzpatrick and Chalmers. For me, they've been really disappointing tonight compared to their counterparts in the opposite side of Dunfermline. I look at Robbie Fraser and Matty Todd. I think their output in the game has been far greater than the wingers at Thistle. I mean, for me, the last couple of minutes has probably been their most meaningful impact. Matty Todd, shot.
Yeah, Matty Todd and Morrison have been absolutely. I mean, Morrison's playing through the middle now, but he did all this good work in the wide areas. They've been absolutely terrific. But every player in the Dunfermline jersey has been really good tonight. This is the best I've seen them play. So Thistle will be delighted to try and get out of here with one each. But they've got a set play.
I see Fraser Taylor hitting it, Ian. He won't be eligible to play in the.
He's the size of Brian Flynn, isn't he? He's the size of Brian Flynn. You don't even know who Brian Flynn is, do you?
Brian Flynn, Wales international.
Yes,
I remember.
Time up.
Yes,
time up. 2-0 to St Mirren.
So
that's really the winner for Thistle. Robbie Crawford, the strike.
Great save.
It was a great save. It looked like it was trickling along the goal.
No,
but I mean, he had to move his feet and then get a touch on it. But there wasn't a lot of power in the shot. Maybe he did well to get down to his right hand side, but it was just a snapshot from the edge of the box. Thistle finishing strongly in the last few minutes.
Yeah, it's more that it comes to a ruck of bodies, Collie. It nutmegs somebody at the edge of the box with the initial shot, and then goes through the two centre halves. And
there was another one from the corner there. I mean, I thought Samuel should have headed that in. I don't know if Dunfermline are tiring, but Thistle are certainly up in the pace now.
They're up in the ante late on, aren't they, Andy?
Yeah, they are. And over the piece, you felt as if Dunfermline have done enough to win this game. But Thistle have had a couple of big chances now in the last 5 minutes. We said that quite rightly they'd be happy with the one each, but had a couple of half opportunities there to make it 2-1. But we've just seen it again. It comes to 4 or 5 bodies. Aston Oxford needs to be at full stretch to divert it round for a corner.
Thistle still applying pressure though, Ian.
Good defending.
Great defending from Dunfermline there. Cut back from, I think it was Aidan Fitzpatrick, got onto it.
Yeah, they've entered the game, the Thistle wingers. Fitzpatrick's been excellent for Thistle all season long. Chalmers not had the same input today as he's had, but Fitzpatrick certainly came into the game the last 5 minutes.
Into 3 minutes of stoppage time at East End Park. They've played just coming up for 2 minutes of that, so that match
47 we're on.
That match will be reaching its conclusion shortly. There's a chance for Thistle.
Come on now! It's 3-1, and it is Finlay Curtis this time. He's got the top off, he's got it above his head, he's swinging it around. Rory McKenzie snuck in behind the Dundee defence. The goalkeeper makes a good save, it lips in the air. Finlay Curtis heads into the empty net to save Kilmarnock's season. St Mirren will finish 11th. It's Kilmarnock 3, Dundee 1.
Is that mistaken identity there, Andy?
You're doing some job of mistaking Curtis with Hugo.
Was it Hugo again?
It's Hugo again.
Oh, is it?
It's Hugo again. It's Rory McKenzie. It gets on the end. It tries to divert it in for a really tight angle. As it's saved, it just pops up to Hugo inside the 6-yard box just to nod it in. I wonder what Marley Watkins' reaction will be now.
Yeah, well, that's a good point actually. It'll be interesting to see what happens in there. They look so similar from a distance, Finlay and Hugo. They really do. But
Hugo a wee bit taller.
Slightly taller, yes.
Different colour of hair as well, maybe.
He's about a foot taller.
But anyway, that confirms it. St Mirren will finish 11th spot. They'll be in that relegation playoff place. They'll have a keen eye on the the second leg between Dunfermline and Partick. So,
but I tell you
Andy,
what,
how are
Andy,
they tonight? How's St Mirren thinking tonight? They've come off the
Full
game
time at
having
the
won
East End
2-0.
Park, 1-1.
Having won 2-0, coming off the game, and they find out that they're in the 11th spot. Does that take the good feeling away from tonight, or do they go and try and build on it the weekend?
No, undoubtedly.
What's the mindset then?
For me, you feel as if you go and get your job done at Petode, it gives you the best possible opportunity to take it down to the last game. So they'll certainly be disappointed that they're hearing the result through at Rugby Park. But we've said it for a couple of weeks now, they've almost looked destined to be a championship side given the performances.
That is full time at Rugby Park. Kilmarnock 3, Dundee 1.
Thanks very much, and that officially confirms Kilmarnock's status as a Premiership side for next season. Neil McCann there celebrating with his backroom staff and giving a warm embrace to Stephen Presley. Both sides will be in the Premiership next season. That indeed, Andy, Kelly's first win over Dundee of the season. You can see what it means to the players.
First win against Dundee this season, but more importantly 3 wins on the trot. So if you're at this stage
3
of the
goals
season,
in 3 games.
3 goals in 3 games, you're at this stage of the season, your mentality is going to be questioned. Are you up for a fight? Are you going to try and do enough to keep your status in the Premier League? And they've answered that resoundingly. It's been 3 fantastic performances and results in a row. Ranks was just saying, how does that look psychologically for St Mirren? For their point of view, they'll try and take as much momentum as possible into these playoffs. But Kilmarnock thoroughly deserve given their home form since Terry got the job.
Tell you what, they can catch Dundee as well now, just 2 points behind Dundee.
Yeah, but
0-0 at Tannadice finished. 0-0.